Welcome back. You've already read in the thumbnail what this story about. Like and sub if you like it. It helps with the algorithm. Without yapping anymore, let's begin.
Tsunade Senju sits at her desk and deals with the bane of all 𝐞𝐦, that being paperwork. She has fair skin with honey brown eyes and straight blonde hair that parts above her forehead. Her hair has shoulder-length bangs that frame her face, and the rest reaches her lower back. She wears a gray and sleeveless kimono blouse with a blue obi and capri pants with strappy-heeled sandals. Tsunade places her pen down with a sigh and rubs her eyes, before picking up a photo of a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, but his most striking feature were 3 whiskers on each cheek. "Oh, Naruto, I wish you were still here," Tsunade thought. 3 years have passed since Naruto left on a training trip with her former teammate Jiraiya, but 2.5 years since Naruto died. 6 months after leaving, Jiraiya returned proclaiming Naruto had been captured by the Akatsuki. Tsunade collapsed the moment Jiraiya had spoken those words, but steeled herself to call an immediate council meeting. The civilian side of council cheered learning of Naruto's soon-to-be death, while the shinobi side were indifferent. However, Danzo seemed stoic and unconcerned on the matter, but called for her sensei's law to be repealed. Tsunade tried to protest this, but both councils outvoted her and the law repealed. "Those bastards. I feel like a damn figurehead now. Using my grief for Naruto to slowly take power from me and poison everyone against you." Well, almost everyone, Tsunade thought. She rises from her seat and grabs her green Haori, heading to the roof of the tower for some much-needed fresh air. The 𝐫𝐸 looks up at the sunset but senses a presence and turns to a tall and hooded figure. "Hello, Hokage-sama," he says. He wears dark blue hybrid Hakama Ninja pants with calf-length boots, a long-sleeve black shirt, a 3/4 length gray and hooded coat with a black glove on his right hand. "Who are you?" Tsunade says, flaring her chakra to alert the Umbu. "Sorry, they won't be coming. The moment you walked on the roof, a barrier was erected to give us privacy," he says. Tsunade's eyes narrow and she clenches her fists. Damn it. He may be acting casual, but he's completely on guard, she thought. "So what do you want?" Tsunade states. The figure removes his hood and reveals short black hair with a half mask to cover the lower half of his face, but his slitted blue eyes stood out. "Call me Minma for now. I want to know about the Kyuubi Jinchuriki," he says, and Tsunade freezes and her eyes flicker. "I've been in Konoha for a few days and asked around, getting the same answer, that he was a demon incarnate and glad he was dead," Minma says, but Tsunade was trembling. "Shut up. Naruto was a good kid, and this village didn't deserve him. He didn't deserve to be captured and killed by the Akatsuki," Tsunade shouts. Minma clenches his gloved fist. "So that's what that perverted toad told you, huh?" he says. Tsunade slowly nods, and Minma TSKS with a hiss. "Well, that was lie. The truth, it was Jiraiya himself and 3 squads of me," he says. "What?" "You're lying," Tsunade shouts, but Minma raises his hand to his mask and slowly pulls it down, revealing dark and thick whiskers on his cheeks. "I'm not Bachan because I was there," Minma shouts, and Tsunade's eyes widen. "Naruto," Tsunade says, her voice breaking. Minma, or rather Naruto, pulls the 𝐤𝐲𝐿 necklace from his shirt. "You gave this to me after I won our bet with the �RAISINGAN," he says. Tsunade covers her mouth as tears run down her face. "How? Why?" she says. "The pervert is working for Danzo, Shimura. 2 months after we left, he showed his true colors, saying he was handing me over to Danzo to make me a weapon for him. I thought he was joking, but the 3 squads of them said otherwise," Naruto says. "How did you escape?" Tsunade states, trying to wrap her head around this. "Shadow clones, but Jiraiya caught up and tried to cut off Kurama," Naruto starts, but Tsunade furrows her brow. "That's the fox's real name. He sent a surge of chakra through the seal to fry the seals Jiraiya put on me, he adds. Tsunade sees Naruto's eyes flicker in rage and sorrow. He sacrificed himself for me, but his sacrifice was not in vain. By doing this, he made me the new 𝐞𝐫, he says, revealing 9 white fox tails and black fox ears on his head. Because of this, I was able to escape Jiraiya's grasp, Naruto says, but Tsunade slams into him with a tight hug. Naruto was taller than her, and her forehead touches his chin. Naruto, I'm so sorry, she whispers. It's not your fault, Bachan, Naruto says, and Tsunade pulls back. But why did Jiraiya wait another 4 months to come back, Tsunade says. He was searching for me and was cooking up a story for Danzo, Naruto states. Tsunade bites her nail with an angered look. Then that explains why that one-eyed bastard was so confident that day, she states. I bet, and he's been harassing you too, Naruto says, and Tsunade scoffs. I've become practically a figurehead. Danzo and his cronies have poisoned the village. Repealing Sensei's law was the start, Tsunade explains. How did my fellow rookies take it, Naruto asks. Tsunade folds her arms with a look up to the sky. Only Hinata and Sakura still honor your memory, along with Shizen, Anko, Nico, Hana, and Tsum Inuzuka. The rest despise you, she explains. Konohamaru and his friends, Naruto asks, and Tsunade sighs. They were driven to hate you by Asuma. Kurenai and those crones, Tsunade replies. Naruto runs his fingers through his hair. I see. Then it makes this easier, he says, walking towards the railing. What easier, Tsunade asks. Naruto reaches into his right cargo pocket and hands her a small book. Read it. After I escaped Jiraiya, Kurama brought me to Uzushio, he says. Tsunade opens the book and starts to read. How did you know to go there, she asks. Apparently Mom and Dad left fragments of their souls imprinted on the seal to help me control Kurama's power. Naruto replies, shocking Tsunade. I was needless to say shocked and angry, but got over it. I told them what happened and they were pissed. Then they went through my memories and they trained me in my mindscape until their chakra ran out. I learned everything they knew, Naruto states. Tsunade's eyes slowly widen as Naruto smirks. You're looking at not only the second coming to the 𝐫𝐵 no Yoko, but the yellow flash, he says. Those stupid idiots, Tsunade starts, but a shocked gasp escapes her lips and slips into a shout of rage. That fucking cripple. He and those two went behind Sensei's back and sold out Uzushio, Tsunade shouts. Danzo feared Uzushio's power, Naruto says, and Tsunade shuts the book. He's a xenophobic bastard, Tsunade snaps. Indeed, and judging by what you said, he maneuvering to finally take the hat from you, Naruto says. Then what do you propose we do, Tsunade states. Naruto slips a lollipop into his mouth with a smirk. Gather everyone you trust. I have a plan, he says, and hands her a familiar tri-pronged kunai. Use that when you gather everyone. I'll be there in a flash, Naruto says, and vanishes in a white flash. Tsunade clutches the kunai and quickly turns on her heels to gather her only allies. 1 hour later, Tsunade sat at desk as everyone gathers into her office. What is this about, Tsunade-sama, Shizen says. Tsunade places the tri-pronged kunai on the desk. I've learned certain things that have shaken me to the core and shaken my resolve in remaining Hokage, she states, shocking everyone. Tsunade-sama, are you serious? Anko shouts. Tsunade tosses the kunai into the ceiling and a white flash fills the room. Naruto lands with his hood on and a large scroll on his back, causing everyone to prepare to attack, and Hinata uses her Byakugan. Stand down, Tsunade shouts. However, Hinata gasps and her eyes widen. She sputters, shocking everyone. Hinata! Naruto died, Sakura states. Naruto removes his hood with a tilt of his head. Hinata's eyes were always perceptive. Databeo, he says. That's impossible. Jiraiya-sama said Naruto was captured and killed by the Akatsuki Tsunade states. It wouldn't be impossible, Mom. Jiraiya-sama didn't return with a body, Hana says. Agreed, and his scent matches the boy. But even more fox than before, Kurama comments, but Anko titters with a kunai. I can taste his sweet blood and tell you for sure, Anko says. Naruto sighs with a look on his face. I'd rather you didn't, he says. Naruto, Sakura starts and Naruto turns, only to punched right in the stomach. Naruto's eyes bulge and he collapses to his knees as Sakura shakes her fist. Narabaka, she says, tears forming. I deserve that, and I'll explain. Is this everyone? Naruto says, staggering to his feet. Yes. Anyone else could already be compromised, Tsunade states, stifling a laugh. What do you mean, Tsunade-sama? Shizen asks. Everyone else has been poisoned by Danzo's propaganda against me, as the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, or rather former Naruto says. Everyone becomes sullen with saddened looks. What do you mean former? Hana asks. Naruto retells what he told Tsunade and reveals his fox features, causing the girls to squeal except Anko, Yugao, and Tsum. How like an alpha, the feral woman comments, and Anko titters. S so fluffy, Hinata, Shizen, and Sakura say, grabbing his tails. Hana coughs with a sigh, but a blush on her cheeks. Anyway, why did you want all of us here? She asks. Naruto pulls his tails free with a shake and dispels them. Simple. You're all going to die, he says, and the room goes silent. What? Everyone shouts. Naruto raises his hands in surrender. What I mean is I'm going to fake your deaths, allowing all of you to escape. However, if you choose not to go, I'll erase your memories of these moments, he says. Why do we have to leave, Naruto? Hinata asks. Well, because sooner or later Danzo will finally make a move on Bachan to become Hokage. Naruto starts but sighs. Besides having your father, fellow rookies, fellow jonin, and villagers become cold towards to you all, he adds. He's right. The village has always had it out for me, but now with you dead, it's been shifting back to me, Anko comments. MyAnimehub team is starting to question my loyalty, Yugao says, removing her mask. Father even branded me, Hinata says, moving her bangs. Naruto clenches his fist. So what say you all, he says. My family is slowly moving me out of the pack. Swami Hana says, I agree with my pup. Kiba has become more vocal to oust me as clan head, and the elders are agreeing, some states. Konoha has never liked me. So what the hell, Anko states. Nico stares at her mask but looks to Tsunade. I serve the Hokage, and where she goes I will follow, she says. Hinata stares at Naruto with poking of fingers. Inu, I want to go with you, she says. Thank you all. Now do you have everything? We can't risk waiting. I'll have some clones to see the fallout. I know this is a lot to digest, but we need to leave, Naruto says. Naruto makes 4 clones. Okay, hold hands, he says, grasping Tsunade's shoulder. Naruto raises a half-ram sign. Cover my scent and blow yourselves up, he says, and all 3 nod. The group vanishes in a white flash. Let's get to work. One says, and the others nod. XXX. The night was quiet for village of Konoha, but it was broken as the Hokage tower explodes. Umbu and Shinobi rush to the tower to battle the blaze, as civilians flee in terror. However, the blaze was strong and took hours to put out, but over half the building burned. Danzo and his fellow elders arrive at the scene. What happened, Danzo says. The tower exploded in fireball. We believe Hokage-sama may have been inside. One Umbu named Wolf. Danzo grips his cane. I see. Keep searching, he says. Could Tsunade have been inside? Koharu states, and Hamura adjusts his glasses. This could be an opportunity, Danzo says. Morning soon came, and the blaze was put out. forcing the council to meet at Umbu HQ. Do we know what happened? Shikako asks. Preliminary reports said the explosion was instant, and Noichi says. Do we know who was there besides Hokage-sama? Shikako states. Hamura adjusts his glasses with a false concerned look. Personnel records show Shizen Kato, Tsum and Hana Inazuka with their Ninkin, Anko Mitarashi, Nico, Sakura Haruno, and Hinata Hyuga. He reports, "Ha, good riddance. They're demon lovers, especially my niece." Achika Haruno comments, flicking her strawberry blonde hair. Be that as it may, we have lost 3 Hokage in 16 years. We need long-term stability, or the other nations will prey upon us, Hayashi states, not concerned about his daughter. Then I nominate Danzo as Rokudaime, Hamura states, and the council murmurs. I second the nomination, Koharu adds. The council slowly murmur again, but raise their hands in agreement. Then I accept your nomination as Rokudaime, Danzo states. I'll contact Daimyo-sama with our decision and announce at the village, Hamura states, and the council trickles out, leaving the 3 elders. If we knew who committed this act, I'd thank them, Koharu comments. I would not. The scroll of sealing was in the tower. All that knowledge lost, Danzo states and grips his cane. Contact Orochimaru. It's time the Uchiha and wayward Sannin to come home, he adds, and both nod. Uzushio Vikura ruins. Naruto and his cohorts appear among the ruins, and all of them were looking queasy from the trip. Tsunade was the first to recover and first to see the ruins of grandmother's clan. The source of the 3rd Shinobi War, she says. Indeed, 3 whole villages. No 4 villages to topple one small country, Naruto says. 4. Some questions, and Tsunade sighs. Danzo, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya sold out the Uzumaki to IWA. Kumo and Kiri, Tsunade replies, shocking the all. She's right. I found a journal in the ruins. Danzo contacted the 3 Kage and had Jiraiya give them the tools to bypass the seals on the island, and the rest is history, Naruto states. Did the Sandaime know? Sakura asks, but Naruto shakes his head. Gigi had no idea that his former teammate and 2 of his students betrayed him until after the deed was done and the Uzumaki scattered to the winds, Naruto replies. The group grows quiet and sullen as Naruto leads them through the ruins. Follow me. I found a bunker to bed down. We'll head out tomorrow, he says, but pops his forehead. Shit, I forgot. I have a proposal for all of you, Naruto adds. What proposal, Naruto? Tsunade asks. Naruto shifts the large scroll. I want to make you pseudo-Biju, he states, shocking them. What? How? They shout. Naruto gives them a foxy grin. Pretty much. I'll fuse my chakra to yours. You'll have power like mine, but the number of tails you gain is dependent on your reserves. It's pretty much what Kurama did for her, but no loss of life, he explains. You don't have to if you don't want to. You'd pretty be giving up your humanity. Think about it tonight, Naruto adds, and they follow him to the bunker in thought. Gaki, what's that big scroll? Anko asks, and Naruto glances back. The sacred scroll. I wasn't gonna let them keep it, Naruto replies. Take any room you want. We'll talk in the morning, Naruto says, heading to his room. The group picks their rooms, but all meet in Tsunade's room. So what do you think, she asks. It's hard to say. The pup essentially wants to make us pseudo-Biju for reasons we don't know, or how he became the Q-beat starts. I trust Naruto-kun. He came back to help us, Hinata states. Shizen sighs and pets Taunton. If we knew his plan. We could better decide, she says, and Taunton oinks. He may want revenge on Konoha, Hana states, but Anko scoffs. Can you blame him? The village has done everything to bring him down. His supposed friends betrayed him for flippant reasons. Hell, that bastard Irika was ordered to befriend him, she says. How do you know that? Sakura questions and Anko scowls. He tried to sleep with me. He got drunk and blurted it out, Anko replies. Anyway, tomorrow. We'll ask him and go from there, Tsunade states. XXX? Naruto drops the large scroll next to the chair and tosses his coat on it. The new QB plops on his cot with a sigh and pulls off his glove to reveal a sun mark on his hand. Hagoro Mojiji. I got some of my precious people out except Irika Sensei. Naruto thought, but his ears twitch and growl escapes his mouth. This causes a white blur to bolt out from under the cot. Naruto blinks and calms down. Sorry, Haru, he says, as a small white fox jumps onto him. Haru yips and Naruto scratches her ear, causing her to purr as his mind drifts. Flashback. Naruto struggles and stumbles to stay standing and run as multiple red seals glow on his body, his face contorted in rage, pain, and sadness. Behind Naruto was his sensei, pseudo-grandfather, and his trusted friend, but now a traitor. Enough running, Naruto. It's time you take your proper place, as Konoha's weapon, Jiraiya states. Inside the seal, the 𝐫𝐞𝐽 no Yoko was ramming his head into the gate. I can't let the boy be their pet. I refuse to be subjugated again, he roars. Kurama halts and looks down at the water to his reflection. Old man. I guess you were right. A truly innocent will need me, he thought, and looks at the gate with resolution. Naruto, I'll save you, but you better get revenge on Madara for me in return, Kurama shouts. Naruto collapses to his knees, but suddenly lurches up with a burst of red chakra, shocking Jiraiya. Is the 𝐫𝐽 breaking free? Jiraiya shouts. Naruto slowly rises to his feet and slowly turns with glowing red eyes. Know this, Toad. Konoha will not have this boy. You and that one-eyed man will rue this day. Because you have created your destroyer, Kurama declares, vanishing within human speed. Flashback end. Naruto opens his slitted blue eyes. You were right, Kurama. Konoha has created their own destroyer. Oh, the irony, he thought, drifting off to sleep. The next day, Naruto heads to the surface for a light workout, but was stopped by Tsunade and the group. Have you made up your minds, he asks. Naruto, we would like to hear your intentions. Before we make our choices, Tsunade says, and Naruto slowly nods. Sure, follow me, Naruto says, leading them to a large chamber. Well, my intentions are a series of objectives, but to learn it, I need to explain several things, Naruto says and turns to face them. You've more or less heard of the Sage of Six Paths, he says, and all of them nod. Well, it starts with him. His name was Hagoromo Otsutsuki, but it truly starts with his mother Kaguya, the Usagi no Megami. She was the manifestation of a sacred tree known as the Shinju. To be its guardian, but she met a man named Tenji and fell in love with him. She also gained a friend named Aino. However, as time passed, Tenji began to fear Kaguya's power and let others poison his mind against her. She and Aino were forced to seek refuge from the Shinju. Naruto starts and pauses for a moment. Aino learned Kaguya was pregnant and tried to stop Tenji, but died in the process. In her grief, Kaguya ate the fruit of the Shinju and became the first user of chakra, Naruto adds, shocking them. Kaguya was driven mad by the power and slaughtered Tenji and his co-conspirators. Time passed and she had two sons, Hagoromo and Himura, but eventually the brothers turned against Kaguya for her actions in enslaving the world. Hagoromo possessed the Sharingan, and eventually the Rinnegan, Naruto states. He possessed two of the three of the legendary dojutsu, Nico, or 𝐤𝐢𝐳 states, and Naruto nods. How do you know this? Hana asks, and Naruto removes his glove, revealing the sun mark on his hand. When Kurama used a forbidden jutsu exclusive to the Biju, he dubbed Sasi. I technically died and met Hagoromo Gigi, who told me the story. So to cut down on a long-winded explanation, Hagoromo had two sons, Indra, progenitor of the Uchiha, and Ashura, progenitor of the Senju and Uzumaki. Indra believed in power, and Ashura believed bonds were important. Remind you of someone Bachan Naruto states, "My grandfather. He always preached our bonds make us strong." Tsunade says, and Naruto nods. Yep, Indra and Ashura both refused to let their rivalry end. Indra hated Ashura for taking over their clan after Hagoromo's passing. Ashura refused to let his brother's madness spread. So their souls reincarnated over the years. One major set were Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju. The current incarnation of Indra and Ashura is myself and Sasuke, Naruto says, shocking all of them again. This is seriously fucking wild, Anko comments. Naruto folds his arms and stares at his hand. No kidding. Now my objectives are simple. Stop the Akatsuki. Kill Black Zetsu to prevent Kagaya's rebirth. Take the six-path power from Sasuke to end Indra's legacy. This last one is personal one. Destroy Konoha, he says. So you do want revenge on Konoha, Shizen states, but Naruto shakes his head. Not Konoha as a whole. Just Danzo and all who follow him, Naruto replies and looks them in the eye. So you will undergo the transformation to help me, he asks. I will, Naruto, Hinata blurts. Naruto smiles warmly with a nod. Thank you, Hinata. I'm sorry, I didn't realize your feelings for me sooner, he says, shocking Hinata. So you finally realized it, huh? And I'll take the change, Sakura says, and Naruto rubs his head. Yeah. Merging with Kurama helped, Naruto says. I'll help you, Naruto. Konoha has taken so much from me. It's high time they pay me back, Tsunade states. Hana, and I will opt out. It could affect our dynamic with our Ninkan, but we will help you, Tsum says, and Naruto nods. That's fine. I can't force you to make this choice, and your help is appreciated, Naruto says. If this change lets me kill Orochimaru. I'm an Anko, says. Shizune. Nikone, Naruto asks. I will help you, Naruto-kun, but decline the Sasi. Yu-Gao comments and Naruto nods, scratching his ear. I'll help you too, Naruto. I am your big sister, and I need to help my little brother, Shizen says, and several yips echo. Naruto looks back, and Haru was trotting up. Morning, Haru, he says, picking her up. Oh, this Haru. I found her on the island. She's actually the first to receive my chakra. Giving her two tails, Naruto says, and Haru climbs onto his head. Okay, everyone form a circle in the center. Naruto says, and the group complies as Hana, Tsum, Yu-Gao, Kuramaru, and the triplets stand next to him. 5 CLS clones pop around Naruto and stand behind each of them. Alright, these clones are pumped full of my Biju and six-path chakra. They will transfer your own and facilitate the change. Don't fight it, just let it happen, he says, as the clones place their hands on each of their backs. Ready, Naruto says, and all of them nod. The clones bring forth their chakra as their hands glow a bright red, before 5 small domes of energy engulf the 5 of them. Hana, Yu-Gao, and Tsum's eyes widen at the amount of oppressive chakra erupts, but Naruto stands in front of them to channel his own, which was bright and warm. 5 minutes pass as the domes die down, revealing them changed but reborn. Hinata was the first to move with 7 lavender tails swishing behind her. Her form was now of an adult with her hair now to her waist. This is too weird, Sakura says, seeing her 7 pink tails with black tips and like Hinata more mature. Finally, they're big, Sakura thought, seeing her larger breasts. Tsunade gets to her feet with 8 blonde tails with black tips, but her form now in her early 20s. Shizen staggers to her feet with 6 black with white tip tails, but she gasps as her breasts were much larger than before, while Anko has 6 purple tails. So how do you all feel, Naruto says. Each of them tests their bodies, hell of a lot stronger And that fucking mark is gone, 𝐸𝐴𝐾 shouts. Hinata and Sakura look in her early 20s, 𝐫𝐸𝐵 says. It seems to push her body to peak condition like me, Naruto says. So what now, Naruto? Tsunade says, her new ears twitching. Naruto pulls Haru off his head. We pack up and head to my base, but before we go, I want you to get used to your new bodies. You are immensely stronger than before, he explains. How do we make our tails and ears go away? Sakura asks and Naruto smirks. Just think about it, Naruto says, and they comply, returning to normal. Where's your base, Naruto? Hinata asks and Naruto smiles. Snow country, or rather spring country, Naruto says. Naruto sits on the roof of the Kage Tower with his legs crossed and Haru in his lap. This tower indeed resembles the one in Konoha, he thought. It has been a month since he brought Tsunade and the others to Uzushio, turning them into pseudo-fox Biju. Naruto sent a clone to Spring and informed Koyuki that he would delay his return and properly train the others. However, something unexpected or expected in Naruto's case came about as Tsunade, 𝐸𝐴𝐾, 𝐫𝐸𝐵, Sakura, and Hinata were unconsciously releasing pheromones. Sum and Hana were the first to notice and confronted him about it, to which he explained that the 5 of them would experience animal urges, such as wanting to mate and lay claim to the alpha. Sum knew what Naruto meant and agreed to teach the others to control their urges. Needless to say, Hinata and the others were shocked at this revelation and spent the next week avoiding him, but eventually came around. The next 3 weeks, Naruto taught them the Kage Bunshin, allowing them to shape up their flaws and strengthen their core skills. Naruto showed them a treasure trove of weapons, jutsu, and knowledge for them to learn, allowing them to expand their respective skill sets. Ready to go home, Haru, Naruto muses, rubbing her ear, and Haru yips. Naruto rises to his feet and vanishing with a swirl of wind, reappearing outside the village. Tsunade and other were mediating, but their fox ears twitch at every sound. Time for us to leave, Tsunade asks. Yeah, I've been gone too long. Koyuki will be mad, Naruto says. Everyone gets to their feet. I am so taking a long and hot shower, Sakura says. Same with me, and some dango 𝐸𝐴𝐾 comments. Naruto hands Haru to Hinata, and everyone joins hands, before they vanish in a huge white flash. Spring country, Naruto and his group appear in the courtyard of a large compound. Welcome to my home, he says. Everyone looks around in shock at the beautiful scenery and large home. It has several training areas, a dojo, and outdoor bath, Naruto says, letting Haru down to run around. I need to report in. The house is yours. Feel free to explore, Naruto says, and vanishes in a flash. 𝐸𝐴𝐾, Sakura, Yugao, Hana, and some quickly rush off towards the outdoor bath as Tsunade, 𝐫𝐸𝐵, and Hinata start to explore. This place doesn't look cheap, Tsunade comments, but it has a Spartan feel. The 3 continue to explore, finding 10 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, also a fully stocked kitchen and a room full of weapons. However, one weapon stood for its large size. It was an incredibly large halberd with a large double-edged sword. Its pommel has a large crescent moon design and white wrapping to the blade. Kami, that is a huge weapon, Tsunade comments. The 3 continue to explore, but eventually make it to the outdoor bath. About time, 𝐸𝐴𝐾 chirps. We wanted to see the place, 𝐫𝐸𝐵 says, stepping into the water. Tsunade and Hinata follow, but the younger hides her breasts and 𝐸𝐴𝐾 grins. I bet Naruto gonna love riding those titties, she says, and Hinata yeeps. Or Tsunade-sama's 𝐸𝐴𝐾 adds, and Tsunade chuckles. Think so, or is it the hormones talking, Tsunade comments. Sakura runs her towel over her cheek. I can understand Hinata being attracted to Naruto, but all of us, she says, since Naruto made you into pseudo-foxes. He is the alpha, and you want him to mate with you. We taught you to control the urges on Uzushio, but it's still there until you actually have sex with him and mark him our alpha. Some comments, sipping some sake. To be honest, I was attracted to the little brat. He was so cute, and I so wanted to corrupt him, 𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐿 muses. His whiskers are cute, Sakura comments. Hinata submerges herself with red cheeks. I want to make love with Naruto, but I am so embarrassed, she whispers. Then do it, Hinata. You loved him first, so go for it. We can wait. Just tell us how big he is, 𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐿 says, and Hinata blushes brightly with steam rising from her ears. Break. Meanwhile, Naruto was standing in the study as Koyuki sat at her desk. Sorry for taking too long to return, he says. It's alright, Naruto-kun. How are the others, Koyuki says. She has long black hair with bangs that sweep on each side of her face and violet blue eyes. Wearing a green blouse and a gray skirt with brown shoes. They're adjusting well, but they'll need to keep a low profile for now, Naruto explains and cups his chin. I could make them my ghosts like you are. That way they can teach the next generation, Koyuki states. Naruto softly smiles with a glance outside. So you are going through with your goal of establishing a shinobi village, he says. Koyuki rises from her seat and makes her way to the balcony. Yes, but not like the other nations. Shinobi loyal to me and help the people from the shadows. I believe they can lay a proper foundation for it, she says. Naruto places his hand on her shoulder. Then I will do everything in my power to see it come to fruition. Databeo, he says, and Koyuki laughs. Though you have changed so much. That side of you will never die, Koyuki says. Thank you, Koyuki. By your leave, then, Naruto says and excuses himself. Naruto makes his way back to his compound, but deep in thought. Kurama, I wish you were here. I need help with this problem, or 5 problems rather, he thought. He kept walking but halted in his tracks and pales. Kage Bunshin no jutsu, he thought, creating 5 clones. We need food and sake. 3 of you load up. You 2 buy basic clothes, Naruto says, and the 5 salute, leaping off. Naruto continues through town as people greet him. Hello, Ghost-sama. Hello, Mima-sama, several greet. Here, Ghost-no, older woman says, tossing him an apple. Naruto pulls down his mask to reveal his face under a hinge. Thanks, Kid, he says, continuing his walk. Even if I have to wear a hinge to hide my whiskers. This is what I've wanted to have since I was a child. People treating me fairly and not as some demon incarnate, Naruto thought. Naruto reaches his compound as the clones arrive with a multitude of bags before opening the gate. He could sense they were grouped in the living room as finishes off his apple. I'll take the clothes. You all get started on dinner, he says, opening the front door. Naruto slips off his boots and makes his way to the living room, finding them wearing his robes. Sorry about that. I have some simple clothes until you can go shop for new clothes, Naruto says, dropping the bags. Naruto quickly turns around as they strip off their robes to root through the bags. You know, you can watch Gaki. 𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐿 chirps and Naruto scratches his head. Sorry, I am a gentleman unlike that pervert, Naruto says, with a slight edge to his voice. Don't mention that bastard. He always was sniffing around me after he came back to Konoha, Tsunade says, slipping on some sweats and a t-shirt. Naruto rubs his forehead and slips a lollipop in his mouth. They're only temporary. You can get your own clothes tomorrow, he says. Naruto. We're decent, Hinata says, and Naruto turns around. So how are you all feeling? Concerning your urges. I know it's something I neglected to mention before the change, Naruto says, sitting in a chair. The room goes quiet as Hinata was blushing brightly with her head down. We can handle it, Naruto, but deep down. I want you to mount me and make me yours, Tsunade comments. Same here, Gaki. I want you to destroy me for other men, 𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐿 says, with a lick of her lips. How did you deal with your urges, Naruto, Shizen asks. Naruto points to the lollipop in his mouth. I suck on lollipops. However, when I was on the island, I used a 𝐫𝐸 Bunshin, and it hinged using my sexy jutsu. He starts and 𝐸𝐴NKO laughs. So you fucked yourself, 𝐸𝐴NKO laughs, followed by Tsum. Yeah, and it worked for about 3 months. So I decided to return to the mainland. I went to a brothel in the capital and spent a week there. The matron named Yumi taught me how to properly please a woman and curb my urges, Naruto explains. Properly please a woman, Sakura queries. Naruto slowly nods and crosses his legs. She said I was natural at cunningless, he says, shocking all of them. I'm sold, 𝐸𝐴NKO chirps. Naruto rubs his head sheepishly with a blush on his cheeks. After that, I was able to control my urges and went back to my training, but I would flash back for the occasional romp, he explains. Putting that aside for now, their feelings for you are a byproduct of their transformations. So you won't force them to be with you, as some told us earlier, 𝐤𝐢𝐽 comments. No, I want something so despicable. I'll admit I am attracted to them, but I refuse to force them into something. All you have stood by me, when everyone else tossed me aside. To me, you are my precious people, Naruto states, causing all of them to smile. Okay, let's put this aside for real. How are you going to explain us to the people of Spring? To the world, we are dead, Tsunade states. Simple. You're going to become ghosts like me. Outside of Koyuki, I am Minma, the ghost of Flash, or the ghost of Spring. You'll have to change your appearance like Bachan does with her special hinge, Naruto states. Gaki, you're the fucking ghost. S-rank threat with a flea on sight order. 𝐸𝐴NKO shouts and Naruto nods, shocking them. Ghost? Sakura says. After a year of training on Uzushio, I needed experience, but first I want to meet with the other Jinchuriki and warn them of the Akatsuki and a possible Konoha threat to replace me, Naruto starts. Why, Sakura says, and Naruto sighs. Danzo wants me to be a weapon, a glorified attack dog. I wouldn't put it past him to try and steal another Jinchuriki for that purpose, Naruto replies. First, I met the Nibi Jinchuriki. Yujito ni outside of Kumo by chance. Matatabi and Kurama were old friends, allowing Yujito to trust me. The other Jinchuriki, Darui. The right hand of the Refuge doesn't leave 𝐫𝐴NKO, but she agreed to pass it on. I even gave her one of my kunai for just in case, Naruto states. In case the Akatsuki attacked, Shizen states, and Naruto nods. Along the way to IWA, I encountered a missing nin named Hiriko and his 3 followers, Naruto says, and Tsunade gasps. Did you say Hiriko? Tsunade says, and he nods. Who's Hiriko, Tsunade-sama? Shizen asks. Tsunade sighs sadly. He was a friend growing up, but he had no special skills. So he created a jutsu to steal Kekai Genkai from others. Sensei sent us to deal him, but he escaped with his research, she explains. He perfected it. He could use the Swift, Storm, Dark, and Steel releases. He could absorb chakra and created several strange animals. It was a tough battle to test my skills, but Hiriko and his followers fell. Before he died, he rambled about perfection and comrades. He even saw me a ghost. So I adopted it after I destroyed his research and gave him a proper shinobi burial. I headed to IWA, but I was met with apprehension. Both didn't trust me, and their Biju blamed me for Kurama's death. I told them about the Akatsuki and promptly left. Naruto explains, his face sullen. Kurama's death has hit you hard, Naruto. Hinata asks, and Naruto nods. Yeah, he gave his life to save mine, Naruto says, and rubs his head. Anyway, after IWA, I headed to Taki to meet with the Nanabai, but I couldn't find them. Taki is very weary of outsiders, so I begrudgingly headed for Suna to see Gaara. He didn't believe me at first, but I told him something only the 2 of us know. We caught up and I fixed his seal and got rid of the madness consuming Shikaku. Gaara caught me up on Konoha's current events and the repeal of Gigi's law. Naruto says, and Tsunade looks down. I'll say it was clever on Danzo's part to have the law repealed, and it explains why everyone turned on me. Bearing current company and the Ichiraka family, Naruto says, chewing on his lollipop stem. How is that clever? Shizen says. Danzo knows I am still alive somewhere. So to make sure I had no safe haven to return to, he poisoned Konoha with propaganda aimed to paint me as Kurama in human skin, which most of the older generation thought, Naruto explains. If you were told a lie for 3 straight years, you start to believe it, and anyone who doesn't is a demon lover and meant to be shunned despite their status, Naruto adds. All of you swam against the tide of hate. Well, after parting ways with Gaara, I headed for the land of water, but turned up nothing. The Sanbai was dead and set to reform in a few months from now. The Jinchuriki of the Rokubi is a recluse and hasn't been since the Civil War started and ended, Naruto explains, but his face becomes serious. I decided then I needed a place to be a base of operations. Uzushio was out, but I knew a place. Luckily, I made here before it was destroyed, he adds. Destroyed? Sakura states. Naruto puts the stem of lollipop into the wrapper. The Land of Sky attacked here for their technology as a test run to enact their revenge on the 5 great nations. Their leader was a man named Shino. He and Orochimaru were old buddies. He commanded a force of 800 strong with a flying city against samurai and a few squads of shinobi. He says and pauses, but all of them see the dark look in his eyes. I made 100 clones of various styles and sent them into the city, while I headed for the island. The sky shinobi and civilians of spring witnessed the birth of the Shiro Senko, just as IWA witnessed my father. Once I entered the island, I encountered more sky ninja en route to the center, where I found Shino trying to revive a creature called the 𝐫𝐸. It feeds on negative emotions, and Shino slaughtered dozens to feed it. He even allowed the 𝐫𝐸 to possess his body, Naruto explains. A tough battle, some asks, and Naruto nods. Yeah, the 𝐫𝐸 thrives on negative emotions and produces dark chakra, but like normal chakra, it needs control. A couple 𝐸𝐻𝐼𝐴 and a 𝐵𝐺𝐺 later, it was destroyed and the fortress sank below the depths. Once I made it to the mainland, the people were calling me the ghost of spring or phantom hero. Luckily, none of the clones used the 𝐸𝐻𝐼𝐴, Naruto replies. You know the 𝐸𝐻𝐼𝐴 too. Some ads and Naruto smiles. A chain emerges from his palm. I learned everything my parents know. Once things started to settle down, I met with Koyuki and she thanked me, but she was shocked to find who I really was. She first slapped me and then hugged me. I told her what happened, and she agreed to make me her personal shinobi or her ghost, Naruto states. How did it get out what you did? Some people were saying the Yellow Flash's ghost had returned, hence the flea on sight. Yugao says. Several villages were keeping close eyes on the Land of Sky, one of which was IWA. Like I said, I was glad the clones didn't use the 𝐸𝐻𝐼𝐴 or 𝐸𝐻𝐼𝐴. They used Zangetsu and the Flash Step, which is an advanced shunshin I created on Uzushio, Naruto says and rolls up his sleeve, revealing a whirlpool tattoo. He channels some chakra and a sword appears within a red sheath. Rising from his seat, Naruto pulls the dado free and reveals a black blade. Its crossguard is shaped like a whirlpool with the hilt wrapped in red and black. I found it in the vault. It belonged to the previous 𝐤𝐢𝐳𝐾𝐦 along with another weapon, Naruto explains, putting Zangetsu back into its seal. Yo boss, dinner is ready, a clone says and dispels. Welp, let's eat. We can talk later, Naruto says, and everyone follows him. Konoha. Danzo stares at the Hokage hat on his desk His lifetime ambition finally fulfilled, and the new Rokudaime looks to his two guests. The first being Orochimaru and the other being Sasuke Uchiha Kikuku. Quite the sight, Hokage-sama, Orochimaru says. Indeed. Starting today, both of you are pardoned of your crimes and reinstated into Konoha's forces as a jonin. Otogekyur will be a protectorate under Konoha, Danzo says, and Orochimaru grins. Of course, Hokage-sama. The loss of Tsunade and a clan heir is a large blow, but not a great one-inch, Orochimaru states. Orochimaru the Dobe is dead, Sasuke comments, his arms folded. Danzo looks to the young Uchiha. Yes, for nearly 3 years now, but unofficially the Jinchuriki could be still alive according to Jiraiya, he says, but Sasuke ignores him. Kikuku Naruto-kun has always had the devil's luck. Sasuke-kun will find him in short order with his taka, Orochimaru says, and Danzo nods. Sasuke scoffs and heads off to train or brood, leaving the older men. Has he awakened the Mangekyo, Danzo says, and Orochimaru grins wide. I had him befriend a girl named Karen and eventually court feelings for her, before he killed her and awakened his true eyes. Sasuke-kun is so ruthless now. Kukuku, Otoka said, but I want him as strong possible. Should the Jinchuriki return, I want it brought to heel, Danzo says. Of course, Hokage-sama, but I am curious, have you heard about the ghost of spring or ghost of the flash, Orochimaru asks. This ghost is ruthlessly efficient. I'm sending a correspondence to Spring in an attempt to convince him to join Konoha, Danzo says. Kikuku, I wouldn't mind possessing this ghost body. They say his speed rivals Minato, Orochimaru says, and Danzo scoffs. Once the correspondence is returned, I will have Jiraiya make his way to Spring and meet with Ghost. Once Ghost comes here, my Sharingan will make them loyal to Konoha, Danzo states, as the snake titters. Break! Naruto steps out into his garden with a look up at the night sky, a cigarette in his mouth this time. He runs his fingers through his hair with a sigh. 𝐸𝐵𝐺𝐺. Should I have her meet you, he muses. Who does Himura-san need to meet, a soft voice says. Naruto glances and he sees Hinata stepping into the garden. You, he says, shocking her. Me? Hinata states and Naruto nods. 𝐸𝐵𝐺𝐺 is the progenitor of the Hyuga clan. I met him during the time I met Hagoromo-𝐺𝐺. After the battle with Kaguya, Himura went to the moon to watch over her, Naruto explains. Why does he wish to meet with me, Hinata says, but Naruto shakes his head. I don't know. He didn't reveal it to me, Naruto says, but sighs. Follow me, Naruto says, and Hinata follows him into the dojo. The pair take a seat on the floor, and Naruto takes her hands, looking into her lavender eyes. First, I want to say, I'm sorry for not noticing your feelings for me. I was busy pining over Sakura, Naruto says, but Hinata touches mouth with a shake of her head. It's all right, Naruto. I was so painfully shy, and I always gave up. I made so many mistakes, but you showed me the right path. Hinata starts and then closes her eyes. I always chased after you. I so desperately wanted to catch up to you. I always wanted to walk by your side. Fight by your side, Hinata continues. Your smile and your strength saved me. When they announced that you had died, I was devastated, but seeing you here, I can finally say that I love you, Naruto. Now and always, Hinata adds. Naruto's eyes widen and start to flicker, but a soft smile forms. Thank you, Hinata, he says, and touches their foreheads. Hinata gasps as she's standing next to Naruto outside a large open cage. Where are we, she asks. My mindscape, Naruto says. A presence makes itself known, and the pair to an old man with long white hair. Is this for Naruto, he says. Yes, 𝐸𝐵𝐺𝐺. This is Hinata Hyuga, Naruto says. Himura approaches Hinata and looks into her 𝐫𝐞𝐻 princess. "Please save the world my brother created," he says, placing his hand on her chest. Hinata suddenly feels a rush of chakra as an aura of purple chakra surrounds her, causing her to open her eyes in the real world. "How do you feel?" Naruto asks. Hinata gets to feet and closes her hands. "I feel stronger," she says. "That's good. I'll help you with it," Naruto says. Hinata starts to poke her fingers with a deep blush. "Thank you, Naruto, but W1 as she starts, her eyes spinning like whirlpools. "Wanna what?" Naruto says, moving closer and reaching out. Hinata looks up with a bashful look. "I want to have sex," she shouts, and Naruto's eyes widen. "You want to have sex?" "Hinata, is this your instincts telling to do this, or is this real?" Naruto says, and Hinata gasps but grasps his chest. "No, I want 𝐤𝐢𝐳. Make love to me, Naruto," Hinata says. Lemon warning. Naruto stares into Hinata's lavender orbs as she gazes into his sapphire jewels. Slowly, she grasps his hands and leans in to softly kiss him. The kisses start chaste and sensual, but Naruto licks Hinata's lower lip for access. Parting her lips, Naruto's tongue slips to fight her for dominance. The pair part with a trail of saliva from the mouth and soft gasps, their eyes flickering in want. Naruto grasps the bottom of Hinata's shirt and slowly lifts it off, but the former heiress covers her chest in embarrassment as she lays back. "You don't have to hide them from me," Naruto coos, taking her hands away. The former Jinchuriki grasps her right breast in awe and elicits a tiny moan from Hinata. Gaining a foxy grin, he gropes her more and leans down to trail kisses from her jawline to her neck. Hinata's eyes are half-lidded as Naruto marks her breasts with soft kisses and is left tweaking her stiffening nipples. "𝐸𝐺H." In Naruto, she whispers. Naruto shifts to lay half off of Hinata as his right hand tickles her belly, moving further south to her panties. "Ugh," Hinata cries, as Naruto, right hand rubs her sacred area. Naruto keeps his hand over her panties and rubs her 𝐫𝐸𝐽 as he starts to lightly suck on her nipple. Hinata writhes from Naruto's ministration and could feel this heat building in her stomach. Her breathing became heavy as more and more of the feeling builds. Hinata's eyes widen, and her back arches. A drawn-out moan escapes mouth. Naruto felt her panties moisten and slips his hand inside, but pulls them out with a glistening liquid on his fingers. "You taste good, Hinata-chan," Naruto coos after sucking on his fingers. Naruto moves to spread open her legs before pulling his throbbing member from his box briefs. Hinata looks down but gasps and unconsciously licks her lips. "I'm ready, Naruto," she coos shyly. Naruto smirks and moves her soaked panties, revealing her trimmed snatch, and slowly guides his member into her lower lips. Hinata groans and grips the pillows behind her as Naruto slowly pushes inside her. "𝐤𝐢𝐳. Fa." 𝐸𝐺HH, she sputters out. Naruto fully sheathes himself inside Hinata and leans down to capture her lips once more, but this Hinata was more forceful. "I'm going to move now, Hinata," Naruto says between kisses. He starts slowly, and to get her used to his thrusts as heavy panting fills the room, but slowly Hinata starts to move her hips to his, her fox ears suddenly emerging and her nails sharpen. Hinata's heavy breathing become loud moans as she pulls Naruto into the crook of her neck, while their free hands found each other and interlock. "This is a dream. Nah, come true. 𝐸𝐺HH. I am making love with Naruto." Hinata cries. Naruto varies the speed of his thrusts as Hinata claws at his back, another release approaching for her. Suddenly, Hinata bites Naruto on the shoulder as her orgasm erupts. "𝐸𝐿," she cries. Naruto growls as his fox ears come to bear, and he speed up more. "Hinata, I'm going to come," he grunts. Inside, Naruto-kun. "Onagai." Hinata cries, and Naruto lurches forward, filling Hinata to the brim with his seed. Naruto collapses onto Hinata with a warm look on his face. "I love you, Hinata," he whispers. Hinata grasps his face with an equally warm look. "I love you too, Naruto," she says, kissing him again and continuing for another 2 hours. Lemon End. Next day, Naruto and company and her hang guests were making their way to get new clothes for them and finally meet with Koyuki. Hinata was next to him and holding his gloved hand as the others were giving him sly looks, namely Tsunade, Anko, Yugao, Sum, and Hana. So the place we're going to makes clothes of an unconventional sense, but they are battle-ready and highly resistant, Naruto states. He was wearing black cargo pants with combat boots, his half mask over his face, and a white oriental shirt with black sleeves. The group reaches a fairly nondescript store. "This is it," Anko says, incredulously. It is, Naruto says, and opens the door. "Oi, Dojima-san." "I have customers," he shouts. Rapid footsteps occur as an effeminate man rushes towards him. "Mimikun," he shouts. Dojima has a slender body with short and slicked-back cyan hair with blue eyes. "Welcome to my lair. Please follow me," he says, dressed in a kimono. The group carefully follows them, and Dojima leads them downstairs. "Now, don't let their looks fool you. My art is battle-tested and very resistant." Mimikun can attest to that, he says, sliding open a set of the doors. The group gasps as the room was filled with mannequins modeling various types of clothes. "See anything you let me know. They are made with special fabric and will adjust automatically to your body type," Dojima says. "For real." "That's convenient," Anko says. Naruto takes a seat on a sofa and pulls a book from his cargoes. "Dojima put everything on my tab," he says, and Dojima rubs his hands together. "Of course," Dojima says. Hinata and the others start to browse the various outfits as Naruto reads. "Any preferences?" Dojima says. "This seems versatile. I mainly use taijutsu." "This outfit seems to fit," Hinata says. It was a slim sleeve, light lavender kimono blouse with detached sleeves, but mesh linking them together. A dark purple obi, navy shorts, and footed tights with ankle boots, having lavender fur around the top. "Interesting choice. I also recommend this coat as well," Dojima says and points to a coat. It is a hip-length white coat with lavender fur on the cuffs and collar. "That would be nice," Hinata says, taking the clothes into the changing room. "This fits me perfectly," Sakura says. A form-fitting, sleeveless maroon 𝐲𝐸𝐴 dress with black capri pants, calf-length kunoichi boots, and black arm sleeves that secure at the middle finger. "I'll take this," Anko chirps, pointing to a short gray skirt and a gray buttonless jacket, black hat, black bra, and long black boots. "I'll add a bodysuit, so I won't show too much skin," Anko adds, taking the clothes. Tsunade chooses a pair of black cargos with red trim, with a lavender suit vest and a black tie, completing the outfit with a black button-up over coat and white gloves. Some goes revealing with a black leotard and white chaps, knee-length boots with arm-length, fingerless gloves. "Ha! I'll show all the skin I want," Some says. Hana goes opposite with a black button vest with coattails and a single silver button on the front. Underneath, this is a white, sleeveless, high-necked, crop undershirt and white shorts. She grabs a pair of black low-heeled boots and full stockings with a color gradation of black to purple at her ankles and purple arm warmers. Shizen goes the most conservative with a black hakama with a white kimono blouse, a black shrub with a long left sleeve and a short right sleeve, black arm warmers that extend to her middle fingers, and a purple band around the top. Yugao chooses an outfit similar to her Umbu uniform, but the top is a dark purple kimono blouse and no vest, with heeled combat boots. "What do you think, Naruto?" Shizen asks. Naruto looks up from his book to look over their choices. I like them, he says. Mimikun, I have some weapons and accessories upstairs, Dojima says. That's fine. Now we can head to 𝐞𝐸-sama, Naruto comments, as they excuse themselves. You weren't kidding about the odd fashion sense, Anko comments, as they left the store. It's not too bad. Dojima was a former shinobi here in spring, but with Dodo's takeover. He left and traveled. Learning about clothes instead of war, Naruto comments, as they take to the roofs to cover more ground. The oddly dressed group arrive at the palace and are led to Koyuki's study, Mimidano. Koki-sama is most displeased, a guard says. In what regard, Naruto asks, and the guard grabs the door handle. I'm not sure, but she received a delivery, the guard notes, opening the door. Koyuki sits at her desk as the group enter and waits for the guard to leave. You can drop your henges, she says, and the group complies. Thank you for helping us, Koisama, Tsunade states, as they bow. Koyuki raises her hand with a smile. It's an honor for me. You all didn't abandon Naruto-kun in his time of need and kept up his memory, she starts and sighs. Despite Konoha's bias of him, she adds. Naruto is a hero as his father wanted him to be, Tsum says, and Koyuki nods. I'm curious, what was the delivery that has you upset? Naruto asks and Koyuki frowns, handing him a missive. It was delivered by a toad from Konoha, Koyuki says, and the room goes quiet. Naruto reads through the missive and tosses it back on the desk. So they wish to meet with the ghost of spring, he says. Should I decline? Koyuki asks, but Naruto shakes his head. No, just tell them. I'm not in country right now, Naruto replies. Should that be a good idea? Tsunade asks, and Naruto smiles with a fox-like grin. Anyway, let's focus on the current events. Now, as Naruto did or didn't explain. I would like you all to join Spring, Koyuki states. That is all well and good, but technically we're all dead in eyes of the world, Anko comments, and Naruto snorts. Though true, you will be doing as I do. You can wear a mask or special hinge like Tsunade. You'll be ghosts or phantoms that answer only to Koyuki, Naruto explains. I even have code names to further insulate you. Tsunade will be Mercy. Shizen will be Sun for Senbon. Sakura will be Cherry. Anko will be Black Mamba. Some will be Widowmaker. Hana will be Wolf. Yugao will be Moon, and Hinata will be Cinnamon, Naruto adds. I like that. Hatsum says, followed by Anko. Naruto chuckles, but suddenly his body goes rigid and a scowl forms. One of my seal activated, he says, rolling up his right sleeve. Akatsuki, Tsunade says, and Naruto slowly nods. Possible or simply an accident, Naruto says, channeling his chakra to another seal. A long coat appears from the seal, and Naruto slips it on. It was white with blue trim and a beaked hood. Hopefully this is nothing, but I've learned to hope for the best and prepare for the worst, Naruto says, pulling up his hood, and it obscures his face. Do you want any of us to go with you? Hinata asks. Stand by for now. I'll send a clone if I need any help, Naruto says, and hold a ram sign, before vanishing in a white flash. Tsunade, Naruto appears in office with Sai. What the situation? Temari, he says, seeing the blonde. Temari is a young woman with sandy blonde hair and 4 pigtails, teal green eyes, and dressed in a short sleeve black combat kimono with red obi. Gaara has been taken by the Akatsuki, Temari says, and Naruto clenches his fist. How long? Naruto asks. Just over a day and a half. Kankuro went after him, but he was poisoned, Temari replies. Naruto pulls down his hood and a clone pops out. Go get Mercy and Sun, he says, and the clone vanishes. Why didn't you contact me sooner? Naruto asks, walking towards Gaara's desk. I've been stuck with the council since it happened. I've been trying to slip away, Temari says, plopping on the sofa. He's still alive. The dummy seal I put over his new seal is still active. I'll bring him back, Naruto says, picking up a glove on the desk and takes a deep sniff. Another flash fills the room as Tsunade and 𝐫𝐿 appear with the clone, shocking Temari. Tsunade Senju, Tamari Shotsu. Naruto tosses the glove back on the desk. For now, refer to them as Mercy and Senior. I'll explain everything once I return, he says. We'll be under Henges to alleviate the stress, Tsunade says, and both activate their Henges. Tsunade's blonde hair now reaches her ankles and is now 2 shades darker. Her honey eyes are now a dark amethyst. Shizune's black hair turns ash white and reaches to mid-back with golden eyes. Alright, but Naruto, you should know the council sent for assistance from Konoha. A team should be en route, Temari says, and Naruto tsks. Won't matter, Naruto says and heads for the window. I'll be back soon, he says, leaping out. Alright, I'll lead you to Kankuro and the other injured, Temari says, and both nod. Do you know who poisoned him, Tsunade asks. Sasori of the Red Sand, Temari replies, and 𝐫𝐿 gasps. That could be problem, 𝐫𝐿 says, but Tsunade scoffs. Unknown location. Gaara floats in a blue bubble as chakra seeps out his mouth and eyes. Surrounding him were 6 projections and 2 physical people. One is a man with long blonde hair and high ponytail and cover the left side of his face. The second is a hunched over figure with a mask covering the lower half of his face. But what tied them all together were the black cloaks adorned with red clouds. This is taking too fucking long with all of us, one of the projections shouts. He has slicked back sliver hair and purple eyes with the Akatsuki cloak. Shut up, Hayden, a gruff voice says. He is very tall man with pupilless green eyes and red scara, also with a mask covering the lower half of his face. I would agree with Hayden. Kakuzu, the 𝐤𝐵 container has a weak seal. The extraction should have happened already, a monotone voice comments. He has Sharingan eyes with black hair and a ponytail and pronounced tear troughs. Itachi is correct. The extraction of the 𝐤𝐵 should be done, states a man with purple, rippled patterned eyes. Is the 𝐤𝐵 showing resistance pain, the lone female of the group? She has short blue hair in a bun and amber eyes, lavender eyeshadow, and a labor piercing. We better hurry, our clones are fighting a team from Konoha with Itachi's little brother, a man with blue skin and shark-like features. My foolish little brother. Kisame, Itachi says. However, suddenly Gaara vanishes in a flash of white. What the fuck happened? Hayden shouts. Naruto lands with Gaara on his shoulder and full of view of them. I happened, he says. Who the hell are you, and how did you get in here? Deidara shouts. Naruto shifts Gaara slightly. I am simply a ghost, he says and smirks under his hood, his hidden eyes on Itachi. Don't you just love space-time ninjutsu? Naruto adds, and a Bunshin pops up next to Naruto. Handing over Gaara, the clone vanishes. You are only delaying the inevitable. We will simply capture the 𝐤𝐵 once again, Pain says, his purple eyes unblinking. I can tell you now, it won't be as simple as before. I come with a message. No warning. The Jinchuriki are under my protection, Naruto says, causing Hayden, Deidara, and Kisame to laugh. You're funny, stranger. Too bad. You're about to die, Deidara shouts, tossing a small clay bird. Naruto makes a fist with his right hand, a shuriken whizzes out coated with Raidon, stopping the bird in its tracks. Sasori. Deidara kill him and recover the 𝐤𝐵, Pain says, as the projections cease. Naruto stood stock still as Sasori waves his tail and Deidara holds to lumps of clay. Time to show you why art is explosionum, Deidara shouts. Naruto tilts his head and raises his left arm and makes a fist, causing a long blade to shoot out of his sleeve. Do not take him lightly, idiot, Sasori says, his voice gravely. Deidara glances to Sasori and that proved fatal as Naruto blinks in front of Deidara with roundhouse kick, sending him into the rock wall. But as the back of his head touches the rock, Naruto slams a right straight to Deidara's head, causing spiderweb cracks, but slowly blood starts to trickle from the blonde's ears, eyes, nose, and mouth as his body falls lifeless to the ground. Now that the annoyance is dead, we can talk, Naruto says, turning to face Sasori. Talk, you say, Sasori curtly replies. Naruto retracts his blade and reaches down to drag Deidara along. Yes. You and I are similar as we are both army killers, he says, dropping the corpse. I am the ghost of the Flash. Like you, I wiped out a nation with my repertoire. The fact that you haven't attacked proves. You are smarter than your recently deceased partner, Naruto says, looking down at Deidara. I am. I see you are powerful. The fact you bypassed the barrier with ease. You took the Kazekage with ease. You even killed Deidara with ease. So speak. What do you want, Ghost? But first tell me what art is to you, Sasori says, and Naruto tilts his head. Art is something that is fleeting but can also be eternal. Depending on your perspective, Naruto says. I can accept that, Sasori says, and his body bursts open. Slowly, a figure emerges and reveals the body was a puppet. He has wide grayish-brown eyes and short, mousy red hair with hazy or dreamy look on his face. Interesting. You're a living puppet. Judging by that unblinking stare, Naruto says, and Sasori tilts his head. I am true art. Now why did you help the Kazekage, Sasori says. I intend to break the wheel that is Jinchuriki and the system in place. Naruto starts, but Sasori stares. If that is the case, join the Akatsuki, Sasori says. No offense, your organization is no different than the shinobi villages. You want to use the Jinchuriki and by extension the Biju. I'm going to break to that system. Too long have people with power used Jinchuriki for their own aims. As if they were things and not people, Naruto states. Interesting words, but what does it have to do with me? Sasori says, and Naruto extends his hand. I want you to help me break the wheel. Now I know I am unknown player in this game, but I can offer you some very good perks, Naruto says. Your parents were killed by the White Fang, right? I offer you the chance to add his son to your collection. I can even deliver you Orochimaru to you as well, Naruto adds. Interesting offers, but the Akatsuki don't take well to traitors, Sasori says, and Naruto chuckles. They're number 2 on my list. I'll deal with them in time, Naruto says and blinks behind Sasori, touching his shoulder. Please consider my offer. I'd hate to destroy you, Naruto says, blinking back to Deidara. Sasori glares and reaches for a scroll, but stops. Meet me in 10 days at noon on the Tenchi Bridge in the Land of Grass. I'm meeting with a spy. Concerning Orochimaru. Be there, and I'll consider it, he says. Naruto picks up Deidara and hefts him on his shoulder. I'll be taking him. I'll see you in 10 days, he says, vanishing mysteriously as he arrived. This ghost is powerful. He would be a fine addition to my collection, but he very dangerous. Maybe more dangerous than Pain, Sasori thought. Tsunade. Temari stood at the gates awaiting Naruto, his clone having brought back Gaara and took him to Tsunade. Behind Temari were Team 7 and Taka, its members being Kakashi, Yamato, Ino, Sai, Sasuke, Suigetsu, and Yugo. However, Sasuke was wearing a Jonin vest like Kakashi and Yamato. His outfit also consists of a light blue shirt with the Uchiha symbol on the sleeves, a pair of black cargo pants, shin guards, a light blue open front apron with red diamonds on it, and boots. Temari-san, was it wise to let these unknowns save Kazekage-sama? And your brother Yamato says, seeing that they saved my brothers without hesitation. Unlike all of you, Temari says. Shut up, Sasuke-kun needed to kill his brother. Ino says, and Temari huffs. Why are you still here anyway? The mission is canceled because Gaara is now safe. No thanks to the mighty Konoha. You are only concerned with missing mean than Akage, Temari adds. Masai, we would like to meet Kazekage-sama's savior, Kakashi comments. In the distance, a silhouette appears with something on its shoulder. HN doesn't look tough, Sasuke comments, and Suigetsu titters. Maybe I can cut him up, Suigetsu says. Naruto comes into view, but his eyes narrow under his hood. It had to be them, he thought. Temari-san, has the Kazekage woken up, Naruto says, reaching the main gate. Not yet, Ghost, but Mercy and Sun are looking after him, and Kankuro, Temari says, but sees the body. Naruto removes his hood and turns slightly to show Deidara's corpse. He was one of your attackers. Sasori got away for now, he says, but his gaze meets the Konoha group. Ghost Yamato questions. My name is Ghost, but you can call me Menma. I didn't see you on the way back. So you ran away, Naruto says. Sasuke reaches for his Chikudo with a snarl on his face. We don't run. We encountered Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hashigaki, known missing nin, but they turned out to be carefully made clones, he explains. And what happened after that? You ran away rather than continuing after the Kazekage, Naruto says, matter-of-factly. Don't talk like that too, Sasuke Kyun. Ino shouts and Naruto winces. So what happened then, Naruto says, checking for blood. Kisame's clone said someone had taken the Kazekage. So we retreated, Kakashi states. Naruto rubs his forehead with a shake of his head, but spies a very familiar sword on Suigetsu's back. That's the Kubikurabocho. Last I heard, it was in the possession of Zabuza Momochi, he says. Suigetsu gives Naruto a grin. I reclaimed it. Get this, it was being used as a grave marker with some hunter mask. I broke it and took the sword. I plan on collecting all 7 mist swords, he says in a cocky tone. So Konoha desecrate the dead then. A word of advice. Those that desecrate the dead are judged to join their ranks, Naruto says, his eyes narrowed. You call yourself Ghost. Dickless as in Ghost of the Flash, Sai says, and his group gasps, but Naruto rubs his eyes. Putting that insult aside, I am Ghost or Ghost of Spring. Ghost of the Flash, but as I said, call me Menma. Now I would like to collect the bounty on him and check on the Kazekage, Naruto says, walking past the group. Fight me, Sasuke says, and Naruto stops but keeps walking off with a shake of his head and a sigh. Temari starts to follow but stops and turns to the Konoha group. I'll send payment to your Hokage for requesting the mission, but I want all of you to leave. If you decide to press, you will break our neutrality agreement. Now leave, she says. Not until I fight the Ghost of the Flash, Sasuke says, reaching for his sword, but Kakashi stops him. That enough, Sasuke, Kakashi says, and leans closer. Hokage-sama has invited him to Konoha. You can challenge him there, he whispers. Sasuke scoffs and turns on his heels. HN, he says, as the group takes off. Temari watches them leave and sighs. How can the council be so stupid to ask for them, she thought, catching up to Naruto. He was standing near a pole with his arms folded and a lollipop in his mouth. What happened to the Akatsuki member, Temari says, as Naruto falls in step with her. I had a clone take it to the bounty office, Naruto says, as they make their way to the hospital. So a neutrality agreement. Gaara never told me, Naruto says, and Temari nods. Yeah, Gaara wanted to break our alliance after seeing Konoha's treatment of you, but we were still weak from the invasion. So we signed a neutrality and trade agreement. However, those old fools on the council still placate Konoha for anything, Temari explains. How about a trade alliance with Spring? I can talk to Koyuki and have her convince the Wind Daimyo, Naruto says, as they reach Gaara's room. That would be a big help, Temari says, opening the door. Tsunade was looking through the chart as Shizen was healing. Took you long enough, Minma, Tsunade says. Sorry, ran into some old friends. Team 7 and Sasuke. Who is a Jonin, by the way, Naruto says, closing the door. I thought he was with Orochimaru, Shizen says. Naruto plops in a chair and moves his lollipop around in his mouth. Danzo may have called them back, but to make the team a Jonin, and he's got merry little band of misfits too. One who took Zabuza's sword and broke Haku's mask, he says, crushing his lollipop with crunch. Anyway, how's Catboy? Naruto says, and Temari snorts. He's stable. I extracted the poison and made an antidote. I even impressed the old bag Chio. I told her we convinced me to train us, Tsunade explains. How long before he wakes up? Naruto asks, and Shizen stops her mystic palm. A few hours. Temari-san has gotten a room as the Oasis Hotel for the time being, Shizen states. Naruto rises from his seat with a yawn. Alright, I'm going for a soak. Send a clone if Gaara wakes up, he says, excusing himself. Naruto sighs contently as he sinks into the large hot spring with a small tray of sake on a floating tray. He has his face covered by a towel and his fox ears twitching in content, but the sound of water sloshing catches him, and he hides them. How'd you manage to escape? Naruto muses, taking a sip of sake. A woman takes a seat next to Naruto with a towel covering her head. He's a heavy sleeper, she says. How are things after my display? Naruto asks. Pain is quite perturbed. Sasori has gone dark, and Zetsu confirmed hints of Deidara's death, she says. I may or may not have convinced Sasori to aid me by dangling Kakashi and Orochimaru in front of him. We're meeting in 10 days in grass country on the Tenchi Bridge, Naruto states, taking another bump of sake. Should I inform Pain of this? She asks, but Naruto shakes his head. No, I can deal with Sasori if this goes sideways. Anyway, how's your health? Naruto asks. It's slowly progressing. I may take you up on your offer, she says. If it gets worse, use my kunai, and I'll pull you out. Will the other one defect if needed? Naruto asks, his eyes closed. She is willing. Pain's actions as of late are worrying her. Their vision of things is differing from the original goal, she says. If she needs a nudge, reveal Danzo and Jiraiya's actions to her. She could be vital ally, Naruto says, and feels a kiss on his cheek. I will. Goodbye, Mimikun, she says. Naruto opens his eyes, and his companion is gone. Jeez. She like a bat, he muses. Who's like a bat? Tsunade says, stepping into the water in a towel, and her hair pinned up. Naruto pushes his tray to her. No one. Gaara awake, he asks, but Tsunade shakes her head. Not yet. I wanted to soak. I'm curious about something. You said you want to destroy Konoha, but only those who followed Danzo. What if Tsunade asks? What if the whole of Konoha follows him? Naruto starts but sighs. Then they die. I am no longer the naive and stupid child that you met those years ago. I've gained some of Kurama's cynical worldview. The people of Konoha are sheep. They hate me for carrying Kurama. Yet they revere my father. The civilians of Konoha believe they know shinobi things. You saw it firsthand in council meetings. The civilians insert themselves into things they know nothing about, Naruto adds. Is that why Koyuki wants shinobi loyal to her alone, but fight for the people from the shadows? Tsunade says, after a bump of sake. Yes, a shinobi should not serve two masters. All shinobi suffer from this, but Konoha has taken it too far. The previous Hokage would weep at how Konoha has perverted itself. Present company included, Naruto says, and Tsunade scoffs. Preach. Those fools would never have done this if my grandfather or granduncle were alive. Hell Sensei, in his prime, Tsunade says. Naruto rises to his feet, and Tsunade sees the numerous tattoos of foxes, spirals, and flowers on his body, but his scars drew her in, with the Chidori wound to his chest being the prominent. I kept them as reminders to keep me on my path, Naruto says, wrapping a towel his waist, but her eyes widen. Across Naruto's upper back was the word demon with bleeding letters. This I had done. I usually keep it under a hinge, he says, raising his arms. Randy Orton pose. As I said, tell someone a lie long enough. They'll start to believe it, Naruto says before a pair of arms ensnare him behind. I'm so sorry, Naruto, Tsunade whispers. You don't have to apologize to me, Tsunade. Come on, let's go check on Gaara. So we can go home, Naruto says, and Tsunade nods into his back. The pair dry themselves and gets redressed to make their way to the hospital. XXX, Gaara slowly opens his eyes to a white ceiling and the smell of medical cleaner. Kazakuma, a voice says, and he sees Shizen. Who are you, Gaara asks. My name is Sun, and I am an ally of Ghost, Shizen says, and Gaara's eyes widen. The door opens as Temari enters with Kankuro in wheelchair. Gaara. Thank Kami, she says. Gaara slowly sits up with a groan. I owe Ghost my life, he whispers. So do I for bringing mercy and Sun, Kankuro says, and Shizen gives him a cup of water, followed by Gaara. Where is he, Gaara asks. He should be on his way back. He is anxious to see you. It's good thing Temari-san could use his kunai, Shizen states. Gaara, the council sent for a Konoha team, Temari says, and his eyes narrow. However, Ghost made it back before they arrived, but I paid them for the request to appease them for the moment, she adds. The door opens as Naruto and Tsunade enter. Finally awake, Gaara, he says. Thanks to you, Ghost, Gaara says, but Naruto waves his hand. You can call me by my real name. You are among allies, Naruto says, and places his hand on the door. You can drop your henges, he adds, shocking both Kankuro and Gaara as Tsunade and Shizen reveal themselves. Go Dame-sama, Gaara says, and Tsunade slowly nods. Yes, Naruto faked our deaths to escape Konoha before Danzo Shimura, lead a coup, Tsunade explains. Gaara cups his chin in thought and rubs his eyes. This is shocking to say the least, he says. True, when I saw Naruto alive, I was of a similar mind, Tsunade comments, and Shizen nods. Anyway, Gaara, Temari told me about your neutrality agreement with Konoha, Naruto says, and Gaara sighs. We were desperate, and we still recovering from my father's mistakes. I would like nothing better to tear up that agreement, Gaara says. You may get that chance. I will speak with Koyuki about a full trade alliance with Suna, allowing you to get out from under Konoha's umbrella, Naruto says, and the Sand siblings gasp. You would do that, Naruto, Gaara asks, and Naruto nods. You are a brother in arms and a friend, Naruto says. Gaara, I want to speak with him, Shikaka shouts, and Gaara grips his head. Shikaka wishes to speak with you, Gaara says, and Naruto tilts his head. Still mad at me, Naruto says, holding out his fist, and Gaara bumps it. The pair found themselves in a large space with the looming form of Shikaku. Hello, Shikaku. How can I help you? Naruto asks, and Shikaka leans down. You may be the one father envisioned, and the mark on your hand symbolizes this. I wish to offer you some of my chakra. You will be able to generate magnetic forces, Shikaka says. Amazing, can the others do this as well? Naruto asks, and Shikaka nods, holding out his paw. Yes. Now touch my paw, Shikaka says, and Naruto touches with right hand before a surge of chakra rushes into his body. Naruto grits his teeth in pain, but it soon passes. Thank you, Shikaku. I will use this power for my cause, he says. Naruto and Gaara open their eyes. Thanks, Gaara, he says. Likewise, Gaara says. What happened, Tsunade says, and Naruto grins. It's a Jinchuriki thing, Naruto says, and Tsunade frowns. Can I leave the hospital, Gaara asks, and Tsunade uses her mystic palm. Yes, but Kankuro needs to stay until tomorrow, Tsunade replies. We'll stay until tomorrow and return. I'll send a clone to inform the others, Naruto says, and both nod. Naruto. Tsunade-sama. Shizen-san. Thank you for saving my brothers, Temari says, into a bow. Naruto raises and waves his hands. It was nothing, Temari. You three are my friends and precious people. I'll always come to your aid, he says, and all three nod. If you excuse us. We'll turn in for the night, Naruto says, as the three excuse themselves. So what now? Team, 7 will no doubt inform Danzo of your presence, Shizen says, and Naruto scoffs. Let him. Spreads the infamy, Naruto says. I would agree. This way it keeps that bastard from committing his forces to find him, Tsunade states, reaching their hotel. There is only one bed, Shizen says. Naruto slowly slips off his coat. We're all grown unless you get handsy, he says. Shizen blushes bright red and covers her face. I'm going for a soak, she says and rushes off, leaving Tsunade and Naruto. The latter slips off his boots and plops on the bed, unbutton his shirt to reveal a white wife beater. Naruto, Tsunade says, and Naruto looks up as she tosses her coat and leaving her suit vest. Naruto and his companions make their way to the Kazekage mansion to meet with Gaara before heading back to Spring. How much are you going to tell Gaara? Tsunade asks, feeling refreshed and no longer unsure. Naruto wiggles a lollipop in his mouth, just basics. Suna is still allied with Konoha, and if Gaara knows too much, it could be detrimental, he says. I wonder what the others are doing, Shizen says, also refreshed as well. Anko and some are probably drinking all my booze. Naruto muses and Tsunade laughs as they reach the mansion. Umbu were waiting at the mansion gate and lead them inside. The Kazekage waiting for you, she says, opening the door. Naruto and his pair of mate find Gaara as his desk and Temari sitting on a sofa. Morning all, Naruto says. Morning, Gaara replies. Naruto takes a seat in front of Gaara as Tsunade and Shizen take a seat on another sofa. So where do you want me to start, he asks. The death of the 𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐽, Gaara replies and holds out his hand, as Naruto places a lollipop in his hand. Well, I came to Konoha to scope things out. People despise my existence, and were quite happy I was dead, Naruto starts. The current Rokudaime and the council repealed a law my sensei created to keep the younger generation pure, but frankly it didn't work as the older generation told their children to avoid Naruto at all costs, Tsunade comments. Indeed, in a bid for me to not have a safe haven to return to. My supposed friends and comrades turned on me, whether due to stupidity, laziness, or simple blind hate, Naruto says, and Temari frowns. I waited a few days to scout and set up some things before going see Tsunade. She told me who was still loyal to me and gathered them all up except a few others. I used the Hiraishin to get them out and a few exploding clones to do the rest, Naruto explains. I left another clone for the fallout and learned Danzo was quickly named Rokudaime. At the same time, I took everyone to Uzushio and transferred some of my Biju chakra and turned them all into pseudo-fox Biju using my 6th path yang chakra, Naruto explains. Gaara sat in thought as Temari rises from her seat. Can they transform into full foxes like you can, she asks, other than ears and tails? No, but they are stronger and more durable than before with larger reserves akin to the Uzumaki clan, Naruto replies, as Temari hands him a glass of water. So, what will you do now? Akatsuki will have you on their radar, and Konoha as well, Gaara says. My goal is break the shinobi system and the use of Jinchuriki as weapons. To make sure people like us are never used like this again, Naruto says, and Gaara slowly nods. IWA and Kyumo won't take that likely. That Suchikage is old school, and the Reikage is all about strength, Gaara states. True. I know it won't be easy, but this is something I will do, Naruto says, and Gaara sees the conviction in those blue orbs. Things are changing slowly here. I opened a shinobi academy for those less fortunate. I've seen some promising people, Gaara says. Though good, the old generation is still stuck in past and will look down on your choices for change, Naruto says, and rises from his seat. Be safe, brother, and if you need me, I'll be here in a flash, Naruto says, and rises from his seat. Gaara holds out a scroll to Naruto. Take this scroll. It will help with your new skills, he says, and Naruto takes it with a nod. Tsunade and Shizen grasp Naruto's shoulders as they vanish in a flash of white, and Gaara sits back down. The world will start to change, and we need to stay ahead of it to see it through, he thought. Konoha. Danzo stares at Kakashi's report and their failure to save the 𝐫𝐸𝐴. He saved the 𝐫𝐸𝐴 and killed the S-rank missing Nin with relative ease, it seems, he says, tossing the report. Opposite Danzo is Jiraiya, and he picks up the report. He's proving his S-rank status. Spring surely has found a diamond among the trash, he says. Indeed. Sasuke has expressed to want to face this ghost, Danzo comments. I don't doubt the Uchiha's ability, but rushing into battle with an unknown is worrying, Jiraiya comments. It seems the Spring Daimyo was correct that he wasn't in country, Danzo says, and Jiraiya nods. This actress may use this to her advantage to curry favor for alliances with other nations, Danzo adds. She is indeed a good actress. I want her to star in 𝐈𝐞𝐦𝐿 movie, Jiraiya says, and Danzo shakes his head. We need to bring this ghost in. I want you to go to Spring and convince Ghost to come to Konoha, Danzo orders, and Jiraiya nods before heading out the window. A knock on the door echoes, and it opens to reveal Ino. Hokage-sama, she says. What is it, Yamanaka? Danzo states. Ino closes the door and stood at ease. Did Kakashi-sensei report to you my findings? She asks. He did. 2 men on par with the former Godame and her apprentices, Danzo asks, and Ino nods. The one called Mercy claimed she conned the traitor into teaching herself and son, Ino says. And you believe Tsunade could have taught others, Danzo comments, and Ino nods. I will look into it, he says. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Ino says and excuses herself. Danzo rises from his seat and heads to the window. Ghost may have met these two. What other secrets does this ghost have, he thought. Spring Country. Naruto was on the roof of his main house in a 𝐫𝐸𝐵 position as numerous clones were going over the scroll Gaara gave him. Hinata was next to him in a similar position as Tsunade and Hana were out with their ninken. Yu-Gao was practicing several sword katas, while Tsunade and the others were meeting with Koyuki to look over the shinobi candidates. Naruto, do you want any of us to accompany you to Grass Country? Hinata asks. Naruto slowly opens his eyes and rubs his head as a few clones have dispelled. I don't trust Sasori. However, I need him. He's a means to an end, he says. Means to an end, Hinata asks. Naruto lays back on the roof to stare at the clouds. Yes. He can help with my objectives and can be an asset to our tiny mercenary band, he says and sighs. I can see why Shikamaru likes looking at the cloud, he muses. Hinata lays back onto his stomach with a frown. He betrayed you, Naruto-kun, she says. It would have been too troublesome not to. Shikamaru is smart. He knows what I am, but being that he is lazy, it's just easier to go with the crowd than walking against the norm. Choji will follow because he a gullible fool. Shino will take the logical path despite the fact the Aburame are shunned to an extent, Naruto states. Neji reverted back to his fate spiel after it was announced about your death. Once he learned the truth, he said fate was rectifying his loss to you. Kiba has been trying to bed me, but Sama and Hana-san had been rebuking his actions. It was part of the reason their clan is splintering, Hinata says, and Naruto growls. Tenten follows Neji like a fangirl. Lee is such a hypocrite. You brought Tsunade-sama back to Konoha to be Hokage and saved him, but the moment he learns the truth, he turned his back on you, Hinata adds with a small hiss. Naruto softly laughs and flicks Hinata's nose. Don't worry about them, Haim. We'll deal with them when the time comes, he says. Oigaki. We're back, Anko shouts. The pair get to their feet and leap down, following Anko inside where everyone was sitting in the living room. Alright, if Tsunade hasn't already told you, I will meeting missing mean Sasori of the Red Sand and Grass Country, Naruto starts. Is that wise? He is partially responsible for taking the Kazekage Sakura states. While true, Sasori is means to an end for me. I will using him to lure out Zetsu. If it fails, I'll kill him and move on to another plan. Simple as that, Naruto explains. And if Sasori plays ball and lures Zetsu out, Hana questions, petting one of her triplets. Then Sasori may assist us as a member of 𝐸𝐻, Naruto says and gets several confused looks. 𝐸𝐻 or Black Sunset is our answer to Akatsuki. We'll be mercenaries in a similar vein to them. We'll collect bounties and grow our reputation, he adds. That is interesting. It garners us notoriety and give us an end to enter, say, Konoha under the guise of bounty hunters, Tsunade says, and Naruto smirks. Exactly. Konoha already wants to meet me. Sasuke will no doubt whine to Danzo and force the issue, Naruto says. Ino as well. She was being very nosy when we were healing Kankuro-san and Kazekage-sama. Tsunade-sama cooked up the story that we sought her out and we conned her into teaching us, Shizen explains. I bet that'll scare that mummy. Two Mednin on par with the Slug Princess. It'll have him wondering about our ghost Anko states. One can hope for that. Now, like the Akatsuki, we will be working in groups. Our med team will be Tsunade, Sakura, and Shizen. Our TNI strike team will be Anko, Yugao, and Hinata. Our tracker team will be Tsum and Hana. I will be a single strike team, but these aren't permanent and subject to change. Depending on the mission, Naruto explains and gets several nods of approval. So how was sex with Tsunade and Shizen? Tsum says, causing the latter to eep in shock. He can eat you out like a champion, Tsunade comments, and Naruto facepalms. Anko laughs loudly but also licks her lips. Mama likes, she croons, and Naruto sighs, thinking of putting seal on his bedroom door for the foreseeable future. And 𝐫𝐻 looks down at his rain-laden domain from the highest tower, his unblinking eyes unwavering in his quest. Footsteps catch his ears, and he turns to his faithful companion. Has Sasori been located, Conan, 𝐫𝐻 asks. No. Sasori has gone dark, Conan states. What of Deidara's ring? 𝐫𝐻 asks. Zetsu managed to sneak in Asuna and recover the ring. Security is still under heavy guard due to the attack, Conan says. 𝐫𝐻's eyes narrow at the mention of their failure to capture and seal the Ichibi. What of this ghost, he asks. He is in the bingo book. His origins are unknown, but Zetsu and Sasori's report said. He turned up in spring as some phantom saving the country from genocide by the Land of Sky. IWA dubbed him the Ghost of the Flash, and the people call him the Ghost of Spring. He used various clones in the battle and used speed akin to 𝐸𝐻, also wielding a pitch-black sword and power enough to sink the floating island, Conan explains. I see. His threat to stop us collecting the Bijou is laughable. This ghost will not stand in our way of peace, 𝐫𝐻 says. His thinking is not dissimilar to our own. He seems to wish to protect them. Even from their nations, Conan says. It matters not. He is an enemy of peace to stand against us. As God, he is a threat, 𝐫𝐻 says and turns to Conan. Contact Zetsu and have him find and kill Sasori, he orders. And if he encounters ghosts, Conan asks. And nothing. Zetsu is to kill him as well. Contact the others to keep an eye out for this ghost, and kill him should the opportunity arise. Deva Pain states and Conan bows, turning on her heels. Nagato, you are changing too much. 𝐤𝐸𝐴 would be horrified to see you this way, Conan thought. This ghost is threat to our goals, a voice says, halting Conan in her tracks. She turns to a tall and lithe figure with an orange spiral mask with a lone eye, poking from the hooded cloak. He could also be an ally. Madara, Conan says, he fights for a small and weak country. He has prowess in battle, but he is a big fish in small pond, Madara states. Then wouldn't it be best to recruit him to our cause, Conan says, but Madara's eye narrows. No, our god has commanded his death, and Toby is a good boy, Madara says, and a distortion forms around his eye before he is swallowed. Conan stood for a moment but continues on. I do not trust him, she thought. An hour later, Naruto makes way to the kitchen for breakfast, finding Hinata and Tsunade making food. Morning, Naruto. Naruto-kun, both said, and Naruto waves his hand, taking a seat at the table. Anko won't be joining us for breakfast, Naruto says. Tsunade placed a glass of orange juice in front of him. So this makes for now, she insinuates, and Naruto sighs with a nod. I accidentally left the seal off my room, and she snuck in, Naruto states. So, Anko finally caught ya, huh? Help up I might as you to turn me to, Tsum says, strolling up with a shit-eating grin. Naruto rubs his forehead as the others enter. Please don't, he whispers. You didn't force Anko, Sakura says, her green eyes glowering him. It was the other way around. She snuck into my room, and they took advantage of me, Naruto says, defending himself, but Tsum laughs. Anko's been waiting for you to slip up. Ha, Tsum says. So today is the day, Hana asks, and Naruto nods, stuffing some sausage into his mouth. I sent out some clones yesterday to scout around and mark a suitable spot to Hiration to undercover. Sasori didn't give a specific time other than noon, Naruto explains. Naruto-kun, you should really bring one of us with you, Hinata suggests, but Naruto shakes his head. Fine. I'll be fine, Naruto assures. And if Sasori is sketchy, Tsunade asks, and Naruto runs his finger across his neck. The breakfast continues as they eat their fill and break off to their daily routines. Naruto tosses his coat on his bed before slipping his mesh shirt into his black cargo pants. Next, Naruto slips on a dark blue and skin-tight shirt with dark blue gloves and metal guards on top, before pulling up his mask over his mouth. Naruto-kun, Hinata says, and Naruto turns, grabbing his coat. I need a favor, Haim. I need you to put up a paralysis barrier in the courtyard, Naruto says. For Sasori, Hinata says, and Naruto nods, slipping on his coat. Naruto makes a fist, and his hidden blade shoot out. Yeah, he still can't be trusted. Even if he works with us, he says, retracting his blade. Hinata follows Naruto outside to the courtyard. Squatting down, he places a Hiration mark down. Just set it up around here. Be back soon, Naruto says, and vanishes. Hinata heads back inside, and to retrieve her few Injutsu supplies, informing the others of Naruto's plan. Tenchi Bridge. Sasori slowly makes his way toward his target but comes to halt as Naruto stood next to a tree with his arms folded. You're on time. Good, I hate waiting, Sasori says, as Naruto falls in a step with him. I like being punctuality. Tardiness is a weakness, Naruto comments, remembering his former sensei. However, unknown to Sasori, the former Konoha shinobi has clones waiting and searching for a particular entity. Has Akatsuki come searching for you? Naruto asks. Sasori scoffs with a swish of his tail. I've stayed off their radar for now, but I doubt they have remained idle and searching for me. Zetsu will come searching, he comments. Zetsu, Naruto questions, faking ignorance. He is the Akatsuki spy behind me, Sasori replies. The pair reach the bridge, but Naruto hangs back behind a tree, his eyes closed and his senses focused. A cloaked figure slowly makes their way onto the bridge, but Naruto ignores their talking, but a smile graces his lips, and he vanishes in a white flash, leaving a clone in his place. About a mile away from Tenchi Bridge was a curious and almost out-of-place thing. It resembles a large Venus flytrap, but it wears a black cloak with red clouds. The flytrap slowly opens to reveal a person with a literal black and white side. When Dewey strikes Sasori and his companion, the white half says, "Soon, but the companion with Sasori is odd." It's the one who killed Deidara, the black side says. So they're working together. Sasori has betrayed the Akatsuki, white says. Black's eyes narrow, but suddenly a black sword erupts from their body. "Found you," a voice hisses. "𝐤𝐢𝐳𝐝𝐿, white exclaims. Naruto rounds them with an amused smile under his hood. "Its name is Zangetsu." "Zetsu-san," he says, facing the pair. Zetsu tries to sink into the ground, but Naruto laughs. "Don't bother. I've placed a barrier around us. You can't run away as usual," he says. "You're the ghost of spring," Black says, and Naruto nods. "I am. So you were there. Watching like the coward you are," Naruto says. Zetsu tries to move, but kanji starts to spread from the sword and onto their bodies. "What is this?" Black hisses. "Old man Hagoromo left that sword and one other to his son Azura, with very specific instructions on its purpose." Naruto starts and removes his hood. "Hagoromo. How do you know that name?" Black says. Naruto slowly reaches for his right glove. "Well, I am one of 9, but I am one of a pair," he says, revealing his sun mark. "Impossible Azura's reincarnation," White says, and Naruto smiles. "The very same. Naruto, Uzumaki Namikaze is at your service, and the new Kyuubi no Yoko," Naruto says, revealing his tails. "So you've been hiding these last 2.5 years. No matter, Madara's will be done," Black says. "Stop trying to lie," Black Zetsu. "Today is your death day, and Mommy Dearest stays sealed," Naruto says, and Black freezes. "Oh, I caught you off guard. A first for you. Hagoromo told me everything. How you manipulated Indra into fighting his brother. Every sinister machination in world has had your black fingers around it. All in a bid to bring back Mommy Dearest," Naruto adds. "Mother deserves to live. You are but pawns to bring her back. Kagaya's will is only truth in this world," Black shouts. "All you are is a child, whining for his mommy. You shaped the world into a never-ending wheel to bring Kagaya back. An endless cycle of hate and war. However, that ends today. I will break that wheel with my will," Naruto shouts, spreading his arms out. A Rasengan forms with flames, slowly growing and growing. In the left hand, another Rasengan forms with whipping wind into a screeching shuriken. "You are nothing compared to Kagaya's will. You are just another part of the shinobi history I created. A brat like you can never destroy me," Black shouts. "Iechi doesn't seem to care," White says, struggling to free himself. Naruto brings the large balls of wind and flames together. "You are wrong," Black Zetsu. "The shinobi world was built on the lives and deaths of many people. This combined Rasengan will obliterate you to nothing, and Zangetsu will destroy everything connected to you. Old man Hagoromo suspected your existence and took steps. Zangetsu and Tensai Zangetsu were forged for that purpose. Disrupting your chakra and poisoning it," he says. For the first time in its life, Black Zetsu felt fear. "And no, I won't be erased. Mother help me," he shouts. "Your shadow has loomed over the shinobi world too long. This sun will root it out." "Rising sun Rasengan," Naruto shouts, bringing it down and engulfing Zetsu in a thunderous burst of flames supercharged by wind. "Mother! Mother! Moth!" Black shouts, as he erased from existence along with 𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐝𝐿. In unknown locations, numerous clones of 𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐝𝐿 start to shrivel up and die at the loss of their brain. Naruto stares at the crater with serious eyes. Hopefully this is end of Zetsu, but one cannot be careful, he thought, touching a seal on his left hand and pulling. Slowly, another black sword with a spiral hilt, but the black blade becomes more curved as it nears the tip, with 3 protrusions along the blunt end of the sword close to its tip. I still have Tensei Zangetsu if needed, Naruto thought, and vanishes in a flash of white. Naruto reappears near the bridge and deflects the spiked tail of Sasori with Tensei. Problems, he says. Orochimaru has returned to Konoha and Odo is a protectorate of them as well, Sasori says, and Naruto thumbs his chin in thought. That's very interesting. So have you made up your mind? Naruto asks. Sasori opens his Hiriko puppet. I'll help you in exchange for Kakashi Hatake and Orochimaru, he says, extending his hand. Naruto takes Sasori's hand in firm handshake. Then we have a deal. Now, let's be on our way, he says. Sasori seals his Hiriko puppet and Naruto's grasps his shoulder as they vanish without a trace. Spring. Naruto and Sasori reappear in the courtyard of Naruto's compound, but the latter halts in his tracks as his body wasn't moving properly. What is this, 𝐸↦host? Sasori says. Naruto turns and removes his hood with a smirk. I just realized something. I no longer need you. Because I caught my prize, he says. Sasori's eyes narrow as Naruto reaches for his mask. What prize, he says. Well, I killed Zetsu. You were superb bait to lure him out, Naruto says, and Sasori's eyes widen, but quickly narrow. You used me, Sasori hisses, as Hinata and the others step into the courtyard. Naruto pulls down his mask with a nod. Yes, I did. I could have used Deidara as well. If Zetsu didn't come, I would simply kill the bait and find another member to lure him out, he says. Those markings on your cheeks. You're the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Sasori says. Naruto scratches his ear with a nod. Well, you're half right. I am no longer a Jinchuriki, but I am the Kyuubi though, he says, revealing his tails and ears. You've grown quite cunning and ruthless. No longer a boisterous fool to fool someone as guarded as myself, Sasori says with praise. I gladly take your praise. With the death of Zetsu and soon to be yours. Akatsuki's spy network is crippled, Naruto says, making a fist and his blade shoots out. I have been checkmated by a brat. One last request, Uzumaki. Take my body to my granny and kill Orochimaru, Sasori says. Naruto rounds Sasori and places a hand on his shoulder. Consider it done, he says, driving his blade through the cylinder in Sasori. The infamous Suna missing Nin collapses like puppet devoid of strings as Naruto stares down. All right, Hinata. You can drop it, he says. Hinata places her hands down and channels her chakra, allowing Naruto to move more freely. Success. Zetsu is dead, and Akatsuki is crippled for the moment, Naruto says, kneeling down and picks up Sasori. However, Infinite Tsukuyomi is still a threat, Naruto adds, heading to the dojo and the other following. Infinite Tsukuyomi Tsunade questions. It's the dark machinations of Kaguya Otsutsuki, a worldwide genjutsu to lock all of humanity in a never-ending dream and drain them of their chakra to feed the Shinju, Naruto explains, shocking them all. How could something like that be possible, Anko says. Hana opens the doors to the dojo and Naruto places Sasori on the floor. The Biju were once one being called the Jubi. Zetsu has been manipulating events to see the Jubi return and awaken Kaguya, he states, searching Sasori's body. Zetsu's dead, meaning it can't be done right, Hana says, but Naruto shakes his head. The man who attacked my parents claimed he would remake the world in his image. This Uchiha could still create infinite Tsukuyomi, which makes it more paramount to save the Biju. Naruto explains. Sakura, Tsunade, 𝐫𝐤𝐴𝐴𝐵 put up a barrier. Could be poison, Naruto says, and the four take 4 points in the dojo. Ninpo, 4 flames jutsu, they shout. Hinata activates her Byakugan to look for traps as Naruto searches for seals. Any traps, he asks. None yet, Hinata comments. Be careful. Sasori is Chiyo's grandson, and he could have some odd poisons, Tsunade comments. He doesn't even look human anymore, just a puppet, Sum says. Outside the barrier, and Naruto nods. He creates human puppets. I offered him Kakashi and Orochimaru to get him to drop his guard, Naruto says, finding a scroll marked 3rd. The scroll opens, but smoke erupts, and a puppet with a dark blue hair and yellow eyes, dressed in a Marin cloak. That's the 3rd Kazekage. He went missing a long time, Tsunade comments. Naruto inspects the body, and black sand starts to emerge and pool on the floor. Interesting. Seems Sasori outfitted him with his signature iron sand, Tsunade notes. Naruto tilts his head in thought, but channels the chakra Shikaka gave him. Slowly the sand started to move and shocked the others. This will prove useful, Naruto says. Hold a large orb of iron sand. How the hell are you doing that? Anko says, and Naruto smirks. Shikaku the Ichibi gave me some of his chakra. It's more than likely because of my yang 6-path power, Naruto says, sealing the sand into a blank scroll. Can you do this with the other Biju? Yugao says. Probably, but I would have to commune with them. But some will be very apprehensive, Naruto says, as starts sealing Sasori into a stasis scroll, but holds up a strange ring. Why would they be apprehensive? You're helping them, Sakura comments, as they drop the barrier. Remember the Yanbi and Gobi blamed me for Kurama's death, and I've only met Matatabi the Nibi and Yujito, Naruto explains. So what now, Naruto-kun? Return Sasori to Suna, Hinata asks, and Naruto nods. Yeah, word will reach Akatsuki of their deaths. I'll take him back to Suna and head to Fire Capital to meet with my contacts, Naruto explains, pocketing the ring. Have you ever gone to the daimyo for aid? He could put pressure on Konoha if needed, Shizen says, but Tsunade shakes her head. The daimyo is complacent in the fall Uzushio. Gigi learned this after acquiring a journal from the last 𝐤𝐢𝐳𝐸𝐿. He then confirmed it after the daimyo brought it up after I was born, Naruto explains. So if you became Danzo's weapon, you would unlock all the treasure of Uzushio and your father's compound, Hana notes. Got it in one. Now who wants to come me to Suna in the capital, Naruto says. I am so going. I've been bored here, Sakura says. I would like to go as well, Naruto-kun, Hinata says. Alright, but we'll have to do something about your eyes, Naruto says, and Hinata waves hand. Alright, I would like the rest of you to help out and start collecting bounties. Put the name Black Sunset out there. Dojima has some special cloaks made, Naruto says, and all of them nod. Naruto heads out of the dojo and takes up a seat in one of his larger trees. Kurama's step 1 is finished. This should lure out Madara or his faker, he thought. Flashback. Naruto struggled to move in the knee-length water as his body burns with Jiraiya's seals. Over here, boy, Kurama says. Naruto slowly makes his way to the cage as Kurama stares at him. Boy, be grateful for what I am about to do, he says. Grateful? Ero Sennin betrayed me. He's gonna turn me over to this Danzo guy, Naruto shouts. That mummy and feckless toad won't get you. I have put a considerable amount of distance between us and them. Now listen. I have started a forbidden jutsu on you, Kurama says, and Naruto's eyes widen. This jutsu was given to us Biju by my father, the sage of 6-path. He told us only use this to save a truly innocent soul, Kurama states, as cracks form on the gate. What? Why? Naruto shouts. You are a truly innocent soul. You should never have suffered as you did, Kurama says, and a grin forms. So be grateful for this, Naruto, and make sure you kill Madara for me, he adds, before erupting with red light. Naruto cries out in pain as his body is flooded chakra, but before he collapses, two voices call his name. In flashback, Naruto rubs his eyes and looks down, seeing Sakura and Hinata staring up with concern. Naruto hops down with a sigh. "Sorry, I was thinking," he says. "I'll say." "We were calling you for 5 minutes," Sakura says, her arms folded in her hair now in a pixie cut. Naruto looks down and sees a cloth in Hinata's hand. "It's for my eyes. I'll still be able to see," she says, wrapping her eyes. "All right. We'll arrive in River City and head to Tsunade from there." "I don't want Flash in Agara's office unannounced," Naruto says, and both of them. Naruto grasps their shoulders with a shake of his head. "Let's go," he says, and the trio vanish. XXX. Among the numerous dunes of the Land of Wind was a horse-sized black fox with 2 white tails. On its back were Sakura and Hinata with full masks on their faces. "You can even make a fox this size?" Sakura asks. "Yeah. I can even go as small as Haru too," Naruto says. An hour later, the three reach the ray of sky and entrance to Tsunade, dispelling his fox form a few meters away. "Halt, state you business," a Jonin shouts. Naruto pulls down his mask, but uses a hinge on his face. "I am the shinobi hunter Menma. I have a bounty for Kazekage Gaara's eyes only," he says. "All right, but your companions remove their masks," the Jonin states. Hinata and Sakura comply, but the Jonin furrows his brow at the black cloth. "My eyes are sensitive to light," Hinata says. "All right, follow the path, but Umbu will be watching," the Jonin says. The three make their way into the village with their silent escorts keeping to the roofs. "You saved Gaara, but are being treated like an outsider," Sakura comments. "It's fine, Cherry. I am supposed to be a ghost," Naruto replies, but notices the lockdown presence. Still on high alert, Hinata asks and Naruto slowly nods. They reach the Kazekage Tower and their escorts break off to return to their posts. "Is Gaara-sama?" Naruto asks, reaching his office. The secretary nods and buzzes them in, causing Gaara to look up from his desk as Naruto and his companions enter. Back again, already Ghost and 2 new companions. "Do you wish to tell me something?" Gaara says, and Naruto rubs his head. "This is Cherry and Cinnamon. They are a part of my mercenary group called Kurwa-Yui," Naruto comments, pulling out a pair of scrolls. "Same as Sun and Mercy from the snow?" Gaara asks, and Naruto nods. "The very same. I have a surprise. Sasori of the Red Sand and the puppet body of the Sandaime Kazekage," Naruto says, and Gaara's eyes widen, taking the pair of scrolls. "I found him in grass meeting with a contact, but the contact escaped in the ensuing battle between us. He was a formidable opponent and a master of the human puppet. His Sandaime could use his iron sand," Naruto explains, shocking Gaara. "Did he reveal anything?" Gaara asks. "Just to return his body to his grandmother Chiyo," Naruto replies. Gaara quietly stares at the scrolls for a moment, before rising from his seat and handing Naruto another scroll. "This is a proposal for an alliance with Spring Country. I've kept this from the council to keep Konoha in the dark for now," Gaara explains. "Right. I'll send it to Koki-sama along the way to Fire Capital," Naruto says, and Gaara quirks an eyebrow. "Just deposit Sasori's bounty into my account," he says. "You don't make things boring," Gaara, and Naruto sports a foxy grin before excusing themselves. Naruto pulls his mask back up with a sigh. "Now we'll flash there," he says. The three exit Suna with no issue, and Naruto grasps their shoulders before Flash stepping far enough away and using the Hiraishin to make to Fire Country. Fire Capital. Sakura and Hinata gasp as they were standing in a warehouse. "Where are we?" Sakura asks. Naruto slips off his coat and pulls down his mask. "It's a warehouse I own." I actually own several in certain nations, he says. Away to Hiration around, Hinata says, removing her cloth. Naruto slowly nods as he unseals a large crate with fruits inside. See a normal storage facility, he says, resealing the crate. So who's your contact? Sakura asks, as Naruto seals his assassin coat and unseals his gray coat. Madam Yumi, Naruto replies, and Sakura gawks as they follow Naruto out of the warehouse. Why Yumi-san? Hinata questions. It's simple, really. People have loose lips during and after sex. Yumi uses her brothel as a hub for information. A great deal of high-ranking people pass through Heavenly Moon, Naruto explains. So like gaining information in a bar or club. Inhibition's lower and people talk, Sakura states, and Naruto nods. Got it in one. Yumi taught me the ways of sex, and I asked her keep her ear to the ground for me. Well, for a price, of course, Naruto states. The trio make their way through town and reach Heavenly Moon within the red light district. Many of the women see him and start flocking towards them. Mimikun back already. Oh, Mimikun, join us, Mimikun, several said. Leave him alone, girls. Can't you see the glares from his two companions, a voice states. Sakura and Hinata spy a slender, yet voluptuous woman with white hair pinned in a bun, light brown eyes, and a small beauty mark under the left side of her lower lip. She wears a low-cut red kimono, which hangs loosely over her upper arms, exposing her décolletage. She also wears heavy blue eyeshadow and green lipstick with her nails the same color. Hi, Madam Yumi, the woman says. Yumi slaps her fan on her wrist with an amused look on her face. So what brings you today with two beautiful women, she asks. Can we talk in private, Naruto states, and Yumi nods, beckoning for them to follow. Sakura and Hinata follow quietly behind Naruto as Yumi leads them to a private VIP room. Would you girls like to bathe? Yumi comments, sliding open the door, but both decline. Yumi takes a seat on a large cushion next to a low table as Naruto takes a seat across from her. Sakura and Hinata take the other cushions next to him as Naruto picks up the 𝐤𝐻ZRU on the table. How are things in the palace? He asks, getting to the point. Yumi's eyes turn serious and she claps her hands, activating the seal Naruto placed. His nephew frequents us. He drinks, whores around, and whines about things. His son, on the other hand, is more loose-lipped. He complains about his father not getting something, but never went into specifics. Yumi explains, taking a cup of sake from Naruto. Did he say what? Sakura asks, and Yumi looks to Naruto and he nods. Something they have waiting years for. The daimyo keeps that close to his vest. Yumi replies. More than likely Uzushio's riches, Naruto thought, puffing on his 𝐤𝐻ZRU. You should also know that Toad came last week. Yumi asks, taking a puff of her 𝐤𝐻ZRU. Naruto taps his ashes with a sigh and plume of smoke. Not surprising. No competent woman would touch him unless paid very well, he says, and Yumi laughs. Indeed his usual spiel, but he did say something interesting. He heading north to Snow to convince the former actress Yuki Fujiki's, now daimyo Koki Kazahana, to star in his 𝐈𝐈 Paradise movie, Yumi states. Naruto shakes his head with a sigh. He never ceases to annoy me, he thought. Anything else of major note? Naruto asks. Yumi takes a puff of her 𝐤𝐻ZRU. It's been quiet, but rumors are flying that the last Uchiha has returned to Konoha. After the death of the Go-Dame and several others, but again, no real specifics, she states, causing both girls to scowl. Naruto reaches into his coat and pulls out an envelope of money. Thanks, Yumi, he says, clapping his hands and releasing the barrier. Not a problem, Mimikun. Will you stay for a while? Yumi says, rising to her feet and stuffing the envelope between her breasts. Sure, bring us a full course seat and some sake, Naruto says, taking Yumi's spot on the cushion. Yumi excuses herself with a smile as Sakura and Hinata take up seats next to him. Things we knew and more information, Sakura says. Is there no good people in the daimyo's family? Hinata says. His wife, maybe, but Tora has shown otherwise. Naruto muses and both laugh. The fact that Konoha is spreading the Sasuke is back among them is interesting, Naruto says, placing the 𝐬𝐻ZRA down. I bet he uses that to get whatever he wants. I can't believe I had a crush on him. I thought he was so tragic. Losing his family, Sakura says, with a sullen look. Naruto reaches out to run his finger along her cheek. We were kids. Sasuke was strong and the pride of Konoha, he says. The door slides opens as Yumi returns with several women carrying trays. Anything else, Menmaken? A few girls, Yumi asks. Not right now. Thank you, Yumi, Naruto says. Yumi bows and excuses herself, and Naruto pours himself a drink. Let's forget about certain things and enjoy the spoils. Kanpai, he says, downing his sake along with Sakura and Hinata. About an hour later, Naruto was sipping his sake as Sakura was nipping at his neck with a red face. Hinata was wrapped in his coat with red skin and small giggles and muttering of words. I smell like Naruto, Koenshi mumbles. Narabaka, let's play, Sakura says, kissing in his neck and blowing into his ear. The scent of sex is grievous here. I need release. Tsunade-sama told me that once she mated with you, all the instability she felt was gone, Sakura says, and settles atop him. Besides, Naokun, don't you want to make love to your Sakura-chan? Sakura coos, nipping at his neck. Naruto stares at the ceiling with a sigh. Is this gonna become a thing? Every time I go somewhere with him, he thought, his gaze on the pinkette on his chest and the bluinette on his right arm. Naruto makes a clone and swaps with it, grabbing a robe and slipping at one. He steps out of the room, but is met by one of the girls. Menma-san, is there anything you need, she asks. Nothing at the moment, Naruto says, heading to the baths. Naruto washes himself clean and headed back to his room, finding both still cuddled up with his clone. Tell them I headed out, Naruto says, getting dressed, but leaving himself shirtless as he slips on his coat. He heads out the window and leaps to the roof, taking a seat with a sigh as the night caresses his bare chest. Tiny movements go up his leg, and Naruto looks down to see a small jumping spider. Hello, Lucas, he says. Hello. Mama is here, Lucas says. Naruto glances back to a tall woman with an extremely pale and flawless complexion, making it appear like she's almost constructed entirely out of porcelain. She has a curvy figure with very large breasts, a thin waist, and wide hips. She has long, black hair, worn in an upwards manner with two long strands that frame either side of her face, and eyes that have both completely gray irises and pupils, each containing a black spider web pattern. She is wearing a long black sleeveless dress. However, this dress is incredibly long, in that it completely conceals her feet, while ending in 8 small trailing pieces of fabric like the legs of a spider. A narrow black band encircles her neck, featuring a small spider emblem that lies at its front and 8 extensions that protrude outwards upon the back, with 4 emerging from either side. Spider web netting branches the gap between the band and the dress, extending downwards from the aforementioned spider emblem. Hello, Arachne, Naruto says, letting Lucas onto his shoulder. Arachne opens her black fan. You know, I like to stretch my legs once in a while, she says. HMHMMHMM. True. So anything Yumi missed, Naruto asks, other than that loathsome pervert? Pathetic poots of ejaculate. He should arrive in spring within a week. I have a few little ones on him, Arachne states, and Naruto snorts at her joke. Good. Can your little one sneak into the Namikaze and Senju estates, Naruto asks. I can, Lucas says, and Arachne laughs. I know you can, dear. I can Namamako, Arachne says, catching her slip. Thank you, Arachne-sama, Naruto says, letting Lucas down, and both vanish in a puff of smoke. Who was that mimic? Hinata says, standing with Sakura. Naruto gets to his feet with a stretch. Arachne. Boss summon of the Spider Clan, he replies. I thought you summoned toads, Sakura asks, and Naruto snorts with a rub of his head. I did, but when I technically flatlined. My name was crossed out despite coming back. Besides, in a roundabout way. The toads betrayed me, Naruto explains, shocking both. The great toad sage told Jiraiya a prophecy about a student he would train would bring about a great upheaval of the shinobi system. Naruto starts and looks up. In his infinite wisdom, he decided to hijack this prophecy and turn it in Konoha's favor, and they unknowingly followed along. Naruto finishes. So Jiraiya went to Sandaime-sama, Sakura asks, and Naruto nods. Yep, but Gigi brushed it off. So that spurred him to go to Danzo and bring it about. He tried with Dad, trying to drive him towards Danzo's thinking, but Mom was there and kept Jiraiya from sinking his hooks into him, Naruto explains. So, when your parents died, they had a clean slate with you to mold you, condition you into their weapons, Sakura states. Once Jiraiya comes to spring, I plan on revealing myself to him, Naruto states. Why reveal yourself? Hinata says, and Naruto buttons up his coat. I just want to see his face. Once I'm done, I'll lock up that information so tight. No Yamanaka will be able to unlock, Naruto says, and both slowly nod. The trio slip back inside and collect their things, saying goodbye to Yumi and return to spring. 𝐫𝐞𝐻 stares at the Toby with a blank face, but his eyes flicker in rage. What do you mean all dead? He says. Toby stood with arms crossed inside his cloak. All the white Zetsu clones are dead. Which means Zetsu is dead, he says. Zetsu doesn't work on the front line, Conan says. That is true, and somehow Zetsu is dead. Then this ghost is more dangerous than we anticipated, Toby states. But how? Zetsu is very good at concealing himself. If Ghost and Sasori did indeed kill Zetsu, how were they able to sense him? He is able to hide in Pain-sama's reign, Conan states. That is the question. Perhaps we should re-evaluate bringing Ghost into Akatsuki, Toby says, but Ki fills the room. No, this ghost has defied God. He is the devil and will be smited, 𝐫𝐻 says. That may be true, Pain, but we have lost 3 members now. Our spy network is in shambles, Toby states. No matter. Ghost is a threat we can no longer ignore, 𝐫𝐻 states. Do you really want to attack Spring? They are a small country like AIM. Conan protests, but Pain only stares. They are a haven for Ghost. As God, they must be smited to continue of path to peace, 𝐫𝐻 says, and Conan's eyes widen. Toby, contact the others. I want them here in AIM within 2 weeks, 𝐫𝐻 orders. Toby narrows his eyes behind his mask. He has lost his mind. No matter, I can still work this out, he thought. Of course, Pain-sama, Toby says and sucks himself into his eye, leaving Conan and 𝐫𝐻. Nagato, what are you doing? You want to declare on war country. To be no different than the large countries that have used AIM as their battlefield. You would kill innocent people to bring peace, Conan states. They will be sacrificed for peace. Do you want to abandon Yahiko's dream of peace? 𝐫𝐻 says. Conan stares at Yahiko's body with flickering eyes. This is not Yahiko's dream. You want to murder people to stop one person. Who could help us, she says. He is the devil. He seeks to stop our peace, 𝐫𝐻 shouts. You have changed, Nagato. You have never been like this. Madara has changed you, and not for the better. Have you twisted Yahiko's dream of peace with Madara's rhetoric? Conan says, but 𝐫𝐻 smacks her across the face. Conan clutches her face in shock, but it slips into anger, but her world goes black, and she crumples to the floor. Standing behind Conan were 5 people with identical rippled patterned eyes, orange hair of various lengths and styles with various piercing. No words were spoken as the stoutest of the group hefts Conan onto his shoulder. "You have defied God. Now you are cast out of heaven." Fallen angel David Payne says, summoned several shinobi to spread Conan's fall from grace. Spring 1 week later, Koyuki sits on her throne and tries to hide her disgust as Jiraiya does his insane kabuki dance. "Jiraiya-san, if you are quite finished, we can get down to business," she says. Jiraiya holds his pose but sighs in defeat. "All right, Koyuki-chan," he says but flinches as Koyuki glares. "Koyuki-sama, I have for both a business and pleasure proposal. As I would like you to come out of retirement to star in my 𝐤𝐢𝐳 Paradise movie," Jiraiya says, but Koyuki makes a face. "You wish me, a ruler of a country, to star in an adult movie and besmirch my reputation?" Jiraiya Koyuki says, "Yes, but you won't have to do the sexual parts, or if you wish, you can do it with someone you trust," Jiraiya says, correcting his slight. Koyuki closes her eyes in disgust, but keeps it behind a blank mask. "So you do wish me to debase myself in a sexual relations with either someone I trust or an actor. I may no longer be a pure, but I do have standards," she says. "It won't be that bad," Jiraiya says. "Not that bad. If I were to do this movie, thousands would see me not only naked, but having relations with someone. Again, I am a ruler. Do you wish my people to see me as a common whore?" Koyuki snaps and Jiraiya flinches. "My answer is no." "So what is the other reason you have come to my country?" Koyuki says. Jiraiya frowns but clears his throat. "Right. The Rokudaime Hokage Danzo Shimura has expressed a wish to meet with your hero, the Ghost of Spring. He would like him to come to Konoha," he says. "Your Hokage wishes to meet with my ghost." "For what reason?" Koyuki says. "Hokage-sama was impressed by his deeds, saving your country for annihilation by the Land of Sky, killing an S-class missing nin, and saving the Kazekage. Hokage-sama wishes to meet him in person and perhaps through him reopen trade with Spring," Jiraiya explains. "Jiraiya-san, you expect me to reopen trade with a country who celebrated the death of someone who saved my country, or have you forgotten about Naruto Uzumaki?" Koyuki states, keeping her anger masked. Jiraiya hides his disdain at the mention of Naruto. "A great loss, but one person shouldn't influence your decisions about these matters," he says, but hears the throne room doors open. Koyuki rises from her throne. "It does influence my choice. Konoha is a place that thrives on the sacrifices of others." She starts, but a smirk forms. "Right, my ghost," she says. Jiraiya turns only to taste some sweet chin music, courtesy of Naruto, and lays out the super pervert. "That felt good," Naruto says, pumping his fist. "What will you do to him?" Koyuki asks. Naruto hefts Jiraiya onto his shoulder. "We'll talk a little bit, and I will lock away his memories. He'll wake up in a bedroom with a cooked-up story. You'll decline his offer, but I'll go to Konoha with Anko," he explains. "Couldn't Konoha break it?" Koyuki asks, but Naruto shakes his head. An hour later, Jiraiya awakes with a start, but finds himself in a straitjacket and chained to a chair. "What the hell happened?" he thought, struggling to move. The room was Spartan with one other chair and a metal table. Was I captured? So Spring has some competent shinobi, he thought, but a small yip catches Jiraiya's ears. The Toad Sannin look around and sees a small white fox with 2 tails, causing him to glare and try to actually kick the fox. "Stay away from him, Haru. You don't know where he's been," a voice says. Naruto places a pitcher of ice water, a glass, and a bowl on the table. Haru yips and hops on the chair to the table as Naruto pours some water into the bowl. "Do you know who I am? Do you know what country I represent?" Jiraiya says. Naruto pulls the chair out and takes a seat to scratch Haru's ears. "I know who you are. Jiraiya the Gallant. The Wild Man of Konoha, Legendary Sannin. Lovely titles, he says, and Jiraiya puffs his chest, but Naruto snorts. A title given in failure, and a shameful animal, Naruto says, folding his arms. Jiraiya glares at the unknown Naruto. Who are you, he says, and Naruto chuckles. Well, you and me have a history. Don't my eyes look familiar, Naruto states, pointing to his slitted blue eyes. History? Did I sleep with your mom? Jiraiya says, and Naruto snorts. It's been about 2.5 years since we crossed paths, Naruto says, reaching for his half-mask but stops. Does the name Naruto Uzumaki ring a bell? Naruto starts, pouring himself a glass of water, and Jiraiya's demeanor changes. He's dead. Died at the hands of the Akatsuki, but he was a demon in human skin, Jiraiya says, bitterly. Naruto runs his gloved finger along the rim of the full glass. The official story, right? But the truth is Naruto was set to become the attack dog for Danzo Shimura, the Shadow Hokage, and current Rokudaime Hokage as of late, he says. Jiraiya's eyes narrow as Naruto scratches Haru's ear again. How could he know that, he thought? Your silence speaks volumes, and you're wondering how I know that little fact. Well, the reason for that is simple, really. Because I was there, Naruto says, pulling down his mask, and Jiraiya's eyes widen. Kurama's words were auspicious. That day, was it not? Naruto states, drinking some water with a smirk on his face. Jiraiya struggles in his chains with a glare. So spring is where you have been hiding, he says. I haven't been exactly hiding. Well, I did have to hide my whiskers. A simple mask or hinge takes care of that. My blonde hair was another matter. So I used chakra ink to dye it permanently black, but I guess you could say I was hiding. Not idle, of course, Naruto says. Konoha will come for me, and they will finally have their weapon back, Jiraiya says, and Naruto laughs, but the door opens. Tsunade, did you hear? Konoha will come for their pervert, Naruto says, and Jiraiya gasps as Tsunade walks past him. Tsunade? How? Jiraiya says, but his eyes widen as Tsunade kisses Naruto deeply, and he looks Jiraiya in the eye. I was saved from the corruption of Konoha by my Naruto, Tsunade says, picking up Haru, and the little fox snuggles her godly bosom. Show him, Naruto says, and Tsunade reveals her fox-like features. Jiraiya's eyes widen in horror, but Naruto reveals his ears. Kurama sacrificed his soul to make me his progeny. I bestowed this power to Tsunade and others, Naruto says. I knew you were a demon. Tsunade, how could you do this? Jiraiya shouts but cries out in pain as Tsunade scratches him across the face with her claws. Naruto gave me back all the years Konoha took from me, Tsunade starts and bares her teeth. I also know what Konoha did to my grandmother's clan, or namely what you. Danzo and Orochimaru did, she growls. Jiraiya seizes with wide eyes, but clips his eyes to Naruto. Look what have you done to her, he shouts. Oh, please. Don't blame me for your actions, Naruto says and grasps Tsunade's shoulder. He's not worth it. Take Haru for some lunch, he says. Tsunade slowly calms down and picks up Haru again. I hope you die a slow death, Jiraiya, she hisses, leaving. Now that this little interruption is over. The reason Tsunade knows the truth is after Kurama saved me. He took me to Uzushio, Naruto says, and the color drains from Jiraiya's face. Another thing to know. My parents left imprints of themselves on the seal, and they know everything about my life. When you die, they will have words, Naruto adds. You're lying? Jiraiya shouts. Naruto drinks some more water with a glint in his eyes. I am many things, but liar I am not. I spent a month in my mind with my parents and learned everything they knew until their chakra ran out. Then I proceeded to use thousands upon thousands of shadow clones to gain years, if not decades of experience, he says and leans closer. I know the Hiraishin and I took it a step further. I can still use the kunai, of course. I have about 100 sealed on my body, but I developed an advanced shunshin I call the flash step. Naruto adds, and Jiraiya's eyes widen. Not only do my enemies have to worry about the kunai, but I can move just as fast as well. Ufufufu Naruto says, "You truly are a demon," Jiraiya says, but Naruto wags his finger. No, 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 Jiraiya. You, Danzo, Orochimaru, and Konoha are the real demons. First you betray the Uzumaki clan, pervert the will of fire, turn your sensei into your unwitting pawn to drive me towards Danzo. Then you sacrificed him for your own ambitions, Naruto says. Sensei was too soft-hearted to make the tough choices. Too emotional to turn you over to Danzo for your proper fate, Jiraiya shouts. My fate. The fate of all Jinchuriki right to be weapons of their villages, but those words are all Danzo's rhetoric, but your compensation for joining for that emotion. Hating Warhawk was Tsunade, right, Naruto says. So what? Tsunade deserves someone like me. A real man. A true man. Not some girly man like Dankato, Jiraiya shouts. Tsunade would never choose a perverted, whiny man-child like you, grandfather, Naruto sneers. Grandfather? Jiraiya says, and Naruto crosses his legs. Yes, grandfather. Dad was your bastard son. One of many I can guess from your many sexual romps around the nations. He wanted to tell you, but he saw the real you. A shameless man with no morals or talent for that matter. The weakest of the Sannin and dumbest as well, Naruto replies. Jiraiya lurches forward, but the chains keep him enrooted in place. I should have smothered you as a child. You killed my son and Kushina by your very existence, he says. Oh, now Dad is your son. How much of a leech are you? The moment I tell you that he was your son, you claim him. Well, guess what, Toad? It was a lie. My father would never have the genes of a walking infection like you, Jiraiya, Naruto spits, angering the older man. Oh, come off it, Jiraiya. You are an infection onto others. Your very existence is a cancer. If Gigi never met you, you may still be alive. If Tsunade never met you, she wouldn't have had to suffer as she did. Your lust for her allowed Orochimaru to take her brother and Danzo to set up Dan, Naruto says. How the hell do you know that? Jiraiya spits. Naruto rolls up his sleeve and produces a black book. This book holds many secrets. Danzo thought himself a genius, but Gigi was smarter. Before the fall of Uzushio, the 𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐝𝐿 sent a copy of this book to him. He knew everything Danzo did, including both your actions. However, Gigi was a bit soft when it came to those like you and Danzo. Even Orochimaru, but he was planning on giving this book to Mom and Dad, but Kurama's attack happened and his one opportunity vanished with their deaths. Dad would have had the power to purge the guilty from the council and start with a clean slate. He explains and grins. I can imagine Danzo's face if this were to come to light, he adds. Konoha will wipe you out, Naruto. Even if you possess the 𝐸𝐻𝑖𝑟ation, you cannot stop a village that knows your all strengths and your weaknesses, Jiraiya says, but Naruto grabs Jiraiya by the throat. Konoha's days are numbered. Have you already forgotten? I trained for a year on Uzushio. That still leaves a year and half unaccounted for, right? I have made quite a name for myself as the ghost of spring, Naruto says, and Jiraiya freezes. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. The S-rank threat that destroyed the land of sky, and just recently Deidara, the mad bomber of IWA, and Sasori the Red Sand. Isn't that why you came all the way here? To meet with the ghost, but the ghost is the demon brat. Right? Naruto says. You're lying, Jiraiya sputters. Naruto tilts his head with a smirk on his face. I told you, Jiraiya. I don't lie. I am the ghost of spring. I wiped out the land of sky and sunk it to bottom of the ocean, he says, and let his throat go. Just imagine it. I make my return to Konoha. I transform into a fox form and lay waste to it, just as Kurama did those years ago. But this time, no yondaime to seal it. Naruto sneers as Jiraiya's eyes widen. Sasuke will stop you, Naruto, Jiraiya says, but Naruto laughs softly, but it evolves into full-blown laughter. You sound like Ino. Sasuke cannot beat me on my worst day. His ninjutsu. Weak. Taijutsu. Pathetic. Genjutsu. Useless. I know he wants to face me as Ghost, but he'll fail, and then he'll whine. I am a Uchiha. I can't lose. Blah. Blah, Naruto says and smirks. I bet. If I said, I can make him as strong as me, but he has to leave Konoha and join me. He'll do it with no hesitation, Naruto adds, but Jiraiya remains quiet. Your silence speaks. I bet Danzo knows it too, Naruto comments. So what happens now? Demon Jiraiya hisses. Naruto makes a fist with a tilt of his head and blows on it, before shining it up and slamming a left straight to Jiraiya's face. That Naruto muses as Jiraiya loses conscious. The door opens and Sakura steps with a sachet of her hips. Finish Naruto on, she asks. Yeah, it'd be waste to do anymore. He'll get us soon or later. I'll let Tsunade get her pound of flesh, Naruto says. Sakura rounds Jiraiya and softly kisses Naruto on the lips. No kidding, J will tear limb from limb, she says. Naruto had to resist ramming a kunai into Jiraiya's throat, listening to the man ramble on and on and on about his books, women, and his prowess as a man. 𝐸𝐸𝐾𝐽 snorted at that notion because she had experienced a true man. Naruto had done his job very well, and Jiraiya had no clue Ghost and Naruto were one and the same. The pervert woke up the next morning with two women in his bed, and both praised his sexual prowess, after being paid quite well. Koyuki declined to make his movie, but agreed to let Ghost meet with Konoha. You're gonna love Konoha. The hot springs. The women Jiraiya crows. 𝐸𝐸𝐾𝐽 glares at the man under a hinge, adopting the look of long, braided neon green hair to her rear and sick yellow eyes like her former sensei. The group soon reached the imposing walls of Konoha, meeting the infamous gate guardians or lovers Izumo and Kotetsu. You're pretty famous, Izumo says. Naruto signs his name with a wiggle of his lollipop in his mouth. Yeah, I hadn't noticed. I do my job as a ghost. I'm not meant to be noticed and make people wonder if I even exist, he says. Jiraiya quickly starts writing in a notepad with blood running down his nose, but freezes as Naruto glares. I find my likeness in a book. I'll cut your nuts off and boil him. Then proceed to feed 𝐸𝐸𝐾𝐽, he says coldly, and causing all three to grab their crotches. All right, let's head to see the Hokage. Your lady can find a hotel, Jiraiya says. Naruto glances back to 𝐸𝐸𝐾𝐽. See soon. Lover 𝐸𝐸𝐾𝐽 coos, sauntering off in her revealing outfit. You doing her, Jiraiya asks, but shuts up as Naruto glares. The village hasn't changed since he was here last, but he could sense numerous hidden shinobi. More than likely his Naruto thought. Jiraiya rambles on about how nice Konoha was, how it was the strongest village, and the like. Such propaganda, Naruto thought. The pair reach Anbu headquarters. Why are we not going to the Hokage Tower? Naruto asks. Well, it was destroyed not long ago. The former Hokage and several others were killed. So we move things to here for now, as a new place is being built, Jiraiya explains. The Anbu inside gave Naruto suspicious glances, but the new Kyuubi ignores them. Hokage-sama is inside, an Anbu named Bull states at the door. Jiraiya opens the door, and Naruto immediately notices Danzo and Orochimaru standing next to him. Welcome to Konoha. I'm the Rokudaime Hokage, Danzo starts, not offering a handshake. Naruto slowly nods and takes a seat as Jiraiya closes the door and leans next to it. I am Minma. Known as the ghost, Naruto says, 𝐫𝐞𝐽. You look so young and already an S-class shinobi, Orochimaru states. Naruto slowly nods, but he could feel Danzo trying to needle his brain. Yes, but I am not one to brag. I let my actions speak for me, Naruto says. Indeed, you destroyed the land of sky, saving Spring Country in the process. Killed 𝐈 Deidara and saved the current Kazekage. Notable feats, Orochimaru comments, and Naruto slowly nods again. Yes, Hokage-sama. Jiraiya-san was not forthcoming on why you wish to meet with me. May you elaborate? Naruto asks. Danzo's hidden eye narrows, but he remains blank-faced. Yes. I'll get straight to the point. I wish to offer you a place in Konoha. You would be granted the status of Tokubetsu Jonin, and if you prove yourself, you will granted full Jonin status after a few years. You will also provide a child to a woman of our choosing within 2 years, and once the child is born, you may receive clan status, he explains. Naruto stares at the older man and blinks with a rub of his eyes, giving all three a false impression of victory. Hokage-sama, you wish me to forego my loyalty to Koyuki-sama and join Konoha. Given special Jonin status with a promotion to full Jonin in several years, but I'm also obligated to impregnate a woman of your choice. Because you believe the rumors of my speed, I can guess, and possible clan head status once said child is born, Naruto relays. Come on, kid. That's a good deal for an outsider. You're a big fish in a small pond in spring. Konoha is where the big fish play, Jiraiya chimes in. Naruto glances back to his former supposed sensei. So loyalty means nothing unless it is to Konoha and by extension Fire Country, he says, unblinking. Jiraiya glances away as Naruto's blue eyes seem to look through him. Though crude, Jiraiya is correct. Your talent is wasted in spring. Rumors call you the second coming of our Yondaime or the current Yondaime Refuge. Konoha can give you a place to thrive and shine, Danzo explains, trying more with his hidden eye. Hokage-sama, Naruto starts and rubs his eyes once again. To me, a shinobi is one who fights from the shadows, not for status or glory, but to aid their country. A shinobi should not serve two masters. I am loyal to Koyuki-sama. Her shinobi are loyal to her. Not a Kage or a council, Naruto explains, and Danzo's visible eye narrows. 𝐫𝐞𝐽, this ghost is interesting. I wonder how he would stand up to Sasuke-kun, Orochimaru thought. Your loyalty to Koki-san is impressive. Tell me what gave you the idea that you would serve two masters, Orochimaru asks. Well, I met someone in my travels to Earth Country. Unfortunately, he didn't have a high opinion of Konoha, Naruto says, dangling the bait. Who was he? Jiraiya interjects. Naruto grasps his chin in thought. Well, he was wearing an IWA uniform, but he was young, around 15 or 16. Blonde spiky hair and red eyes, but he also had these scars on his cheeks, he explains, shocking Jiraiya. Are you sure? Jiraiya shouts. Naruto locks eyes with Danzo and nods. Yes. He didn't give his name, but when we crossed paths, he gave off this aura that was inhuman or dangerous, he states. Hokage-sama, this could be it, Jiraiya says, but Danzo raises his hand, stopping him from revealing their hand. Not even a Konoha shinobi, and you've given us some valuable information. Also, there is another matter to discuss. Danzo starts and clears his throat. One of our Jonin, Sasuke Uchiha, has wished to face you in battle or a full contact spar, he adds. Sasuke Uchiha. Any relation to Itachi Uchiha? The Kinslayer, Naruto asks, and Danzo nods. Yes. His younger brother, Danzo replies. Naruto scratches his cheek in thought. Forgive me, Hokage-sama, but I have not heard of this Sasuke. Is he in the bingo book, he asks. Sasuke-kun was personally taught by me. He does have old entry from 3 years ago, but was not updated. I can assure you, Sasuke-kun is quite strong, Orochimaru quips. I see. I would agree to face him in a full contact spar, but should I hurt him? I run the risk of 2 Sannin or your shinobi wanting my head. Judging by the praise of your voice, Orochimaru, Naruto says, letting more bait dangle. Will allow both of you to sign the waiver to absolve both Konoha and Spring. Should you unlikely injure Sasuke, or Sasuke kills you, Danzo says, and Naruto didn't falter at the jab. An interesting offer, Hokage-sama. May I add this? I will face Sasuke in a full contact spar, but I will limit myself to taijutsu. Substitution and shunshin, Naruto says, shocking both Orochimaru and Jiraiya. Are you mental, kid? Basics against an Uchiha. You are either cocky or stupid, Jiraiya states, but Naruto ignores him. Will that be satisfactory, Hokage-sama? Naruto asks. Danzo remains quiet, but internally he was angry. Why is my Sharingan not working on him? No matter. Sasuke will break him, and we find the information in his head about the Jinchuriki, he thought. That is sufficient. Tomorrow at noon we'll have the spar. Jiraiya will lead you to Training Ground 7. The spar will witnessed by several of our Jonin, Danzo says. May I bring my fellow 𝐤𝐢𝐳 member? Naruto asks, and Danzo's glances to Jiraiya. Of course, but what is 𝐤𝐤𝐳? Danzo questions. It's a group I formed with several kunoichi. 2 of my members helped the Kazekage and his brother, Naruto explains, causing Danzo to freeze. Interesting. Your group must be fairly new to escape the eye of our spy master, Danzo states. Naruto rises from his seat with a bow. It would seem so. Thank you for your offer, Hokage-sama. I will contemplate it tonight and give you my choice after my spar with Sasuke, he says. Jiraiya opens the door and follows Naruto out with a scowl on his face. Hook. Line and sinker, Naruto thought. Kakuku, were you able to take control? Orochimaru says, but Danzo scowls. Seems not, he adds. This ghost is more dangerous. My 𝐸𝐻𝐻 would start to work, but quickly halt. His mind is a steel trap, Danzo states. Then Sasuke-kun's Sharingan will be useless as well. Tomorrow will be interesting, Orochimaru says. Indeed. However, the possibility that he encountered the Jinchuriki, Danzo says, lighting a cigarette. It seems Inoki is quite scrupulous to have Naruto-kun as a shinobi. This gives IWA 3 Jinchuriki, Orochimaru states, no matter the outcome. Ghost and his compatriot will be dealt with, Danzo says. You think the boy will decline? Orochimaru asks, and Danzo nods. Yes. He is loyal to the actress, Danzo replies, and Orochimaru titters, with thoughts of acquiring Naruto's body. XXX, Naruto strolls through the streets after Jiraiya took off to find about him. Jiraiya will run like a chicken with its head cut off to confirm 𝐸𝐻𝐻's existence and the possibility of me being an idol, but Inoki will deny it, of course, he thought. Naruto could sense several no on his tail, but a smile forms. Seeing Ichiraku ramen. Naruto enters the shop and sees it dead. Hello, he says. 1 second, a voice shouts and Naruto takes a seat on a stool. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 comes out from the back and saw him, but he quickly claps his hands, causing a special genjutsu to form. Hey, 𝐸𝐻𝐻 Nichin, Naruto says. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 comes around the counter and slams into Naruto. Naruto-kun, she whispers. I'm sorry I didn't get you out sooner, but did Lucas gave you and your dad the scroll? Naruto asks, and 𝐸𝐻𝐻 mumbles. I did, Lucas says, coming down from the ceiling and now the size of a small puppy. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 pulls back and wipes her tears with a nod. Yes, he did. Can you really get us out? Without raising suspicion, she asks, I can. I will cast a Jinjutsu on some villagers and they will attack the shop and cause an explosion. A clone will get you out into spring, Naruto explains. Who is it I am, Tsuchi says. 1XLGG, Naruto says, and Tsuchi laughs. You got it, kiddo, Tsuchi says, and I am follows him. Naruto pets Lucas on the head. Any other troubles, he asks. No. Mama got into the estates and got everything of note, Lucas explains, before leaving with a puff of smoke. Comes with a large bowl of ramen, and Naruto's mouth waters as he claps his hands, dispelling his Jinjutsu. Thanks for the food, Naruto says, and devours his meal and several more behind it. Anko steps inside and her eyes widen, seeing 10 bowls of ramen next to Naruto, and he was still going. Where does he put it, Anko thought, taking seat next to him. Give me a sec, Naruto says, in a garbled tone with his cheeks bugling, and sucks up the remaining noodles. Sorry, Naruto says, and puts some money on the table. Thanks for the food, he shouts. Come back anytime, shouts. The pair take off towards their hotel, but stop for several pounds of dango. Where's she gonna fit it all, he thought, holding several bags. Don't make that face. I like dango like you like ramen, Anko chides. They reached the hotel near the red light district. Clever, Naruto thought, entering the room. It was furnished with a large bed and decent bathroom. They have taken the bait, he muses, plopping on the sofa. So what now, Anko asks. Tonight we get the Ichirakas out. Tomorrow, I shame Sasuke. I also told Danzo. I saw me in Earth Country in an IWA uniform. Jiraiya nearly freaked out. Danzo is paranoid enough to send the perv. Giving me an opportunity to play one of my aces, Naruto asks. You have an ace up your sleeve, Anko says, slipping off her gloves. Naruto gives the snake mistress his signature smile. I have someone in IWA. This person is close to the old fence sitter. Once Danzo sends Jiraiya to Earth Country, I'll contact my ace, and if we are lucky, he gets captured and causes hostility between IWA and Konoha, he explains. That's kinda evil. I think it's sexy, Anko says. I'm trying to break the system, and war come about. So be it, Naruto comments, and Anko titters. So when do we kill the snake, Anko asks. Soon. He was very interested in me. More than Sasuke-chan. Once I embarrass Sasuke tomorrow, he will be after me like Ino does Sasuke, Naruto states. So you're fighting Sasuke already, Anko asks. Just a full contact spar. Danzo wants us, or rather me, to sign waivers to absolve Konoha if he kills me. I told him I'll hold back to basics, Naruto explains. If more absolve us after you curb stomp him, Anko says, and Naruto smirks. Yeah, I'll beat him so bad. His kids will be born bruised. Then I'll take the 6-path power from him too, Naruto states, and Anko laughs. Down the last of her dango. Alright, time to work off some calories, Anko says, pouncing on the blonde and having hours of fun. Break. Mid-morning came too soon for the pair, as Naruto woke up first and managed to sneak out of bed. He quickly took a shower and headed for Ichiraku to see the damage. His clones has gotten both Ayam and Tsuchi out of Konoha to his storehouse in the capital. Naruto reaches the scorched ruins of Ichiraku, and people were out and gawking. Many seemed to be glad that the place burned, and some hoped both Ayam and Tsuchi were dead. This angered Naruto and continued to certify his cause to wipe Konoha from the map. Naruto continues on to a kimchi barbecue for breakfast and got treated to sight of Choji, stuffing his face. Oi! Why do you smell of foxes? A voice shouts. Naruto turns and comes face to face with Kiba. Excuse me, he says. You smell of foxes. Foxes are demons and are banned in Konoha to be killed on sight, Kiba states. He was wearing a leather form-fitting black jacket with zips over the chest and sleeves, along with black pants and sandals, also zipped, matching the jacket. Naruto sniffs his jacket and furrows his brow. I have a pet fox back home. She is very affectionate, he says, finding a booth to sit down. 𝐫𝐞 follows him, but now joined by Choji. Why have a fox? They are demons, the plump boy notes. He wears a red suit with plated armor on his torso, arms, and upper legs, having the kanji for food on the front. Can I help you with something others than my love of foxes? Naruto states. The name's 𝐫𝐫 Inuzuka. Head of the Inuzuka clan, 𝐫𝐵 states. Choji Akimichi. My family owns this place, Choji says. Naruto picks up a menu and looks it over. I am Minma, he says, and furrows his brow. You look kinda young to be a clan head, he asks. Well, my bitch of a mom and sister were killed. So the elders made me the head, 𝐫𝐵 boasts. Naruto hides his scowl as the waitress comes. Well, congrats, 𝐫𝐵-san. Now can you excuse me? I would like to eat alone, please, he says. So why are you here in Konoha, 𝐫𝐵 says. Naruto sighs and makes his order. Hokage-sama asked to come to Konoha and meet with him. I did, but he wishes me to spar with a Sasuke Uchiha, he says. Sasuke? That prick, 𝐫𝐵 comments. Naruto tries to ignore 𝐫𝐵, and Choji is both sat at his booth. Is Kami-sama messing with me, he thought. So you must be famous or something for Hokage-sama to invite you here, Choji says, stealing a few pieces of meat. Yes, I am the ghost of spring, Naruto says, frying some egg and meat. 𝐫𝐵 and Choji jerk back with wide eyes. For real. The ghost of spring with a S rank and flee of sight, 𝐫𝐵 shouts. Naruto looks up with a blank look on his face. Yes, and please don't shout, he says, continuing to eat. How troublesome. I heard you from outside, a voice drawls. Naruto glances up and sees Shikamaru in a standard Konoha uniform and Chunin vest. Shikamaru, get this. This guy is the ghost of spring, Choji states. I know Choji. Hokage-sama sent me to find him. Sasuke wants to push up the spar, Shikamaru says. Naruto sighs and moves out of the booth and tosses some money on the table. Choji-san, you may have the rest. Lead the way, Shikamaru-san, he says. Shikamaru mutters troublesome and leads Naruto to training ground 7, leaving Choji and 𝐫𝐵. What happened to Jiraiya-san? He was to escort me, Naruto asks, making a sealless clone in an alley to retrieve Anko and take her to the warehouse. He left on an important mission, Shikamaru comments, slipping a cigarette in his mouth and fishing his Zippo, but Naruto hold his own up. Troublesome, Shikamaru thought, lighting up. The pair soon arrive at the training ground and Naruto saw Danzo, Orochimaru, Kakashi, Asuma, the elders, and a few other jonin. Sasuke was standing near the infamous 3 wooden poles with Ino standing near him, like a loyal dog with his team not far away. Danzo approaches with Koharu and the waiver. Here you are. Sign this, and we can begin. Sasuke-sama's time is valuable, she says. Naruto looks through and doesn't see any Jinjutsu to hide stipulation. Their overconfidence will their undoing, he thought. Signing. He touches his coat and seals it within his glove, leaving him with form-fitting singlet. Sasuke didn't bother to read and signed with a confident smirk on his face as Ino shouts his name. Naruto and Sasuke step forward as the former stretches his arms. Time I show you what a real elite looks like, Sasuke says. Naruto stays quiet as he cracks his fingers with a calm look on his face. This will be full contact spar between Sasuke Uchiha and Minma, the ghost of spring. Both have signed waivers should Sasuke kill Minma, Danzo states and raises his hand. Hajime, he shouts. Sasuke quickly activates his Sharingan and quickly locks eyes with Naruto as the latter stands still. Got him, Sasuke thought and flashes several signs, clutching his left arm. A familiar sound of chirping birds erupts as Sasuke's arm glows with Raidon, before he sprints forward to end the spar with a death. Danzo frowns slightly at the arrogance of Sasuke. He's S-class for a reason, foolish boy, he thought. 𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐴 Sasuke-kun 𝐸 Sasuke quickly closes the gap with Naruto, but a loud snap, followed by a scream of pain. The Konoha ninja present gasp in shock as Sasuke staggers back with left arm snapped back at the elbow. Naruto quickly shunsins behind Sasuke to kick out his legs into a follow-up downward punch, breaking his nose, a few teeth, and his jaw. Naruto blows some air out his nose and turns to the stunned silent Konoha ninja, but quickly erupts in furious shouts of rage. I won. He lost. I held back quite a bit, Naruto says. How could you hurt Sasuke Kyuin? Ino screeches and connects with a slap to Naruto's cheek, but he doesn't even budge. Naruto clips his eyes to Danzo. I am sorry, Hokage-sama, but it seems I must decline your offer. It is blatantly obvious I would not be welcomed. He starts and grabs Ino's wrist. If this is the result of a full contact spar, and judging by your ninja, many are already plotting my death. So unless you wish to see why I called a S-class shinobi and army killer, tell them to stand down, Naruto adds, crushing her wrist with ease. Ino screams in pain and falls to her knees as Naruto turns fully to Danzo. Your choice, Hokasama, Naruto states. Leave, but know this, boy. You will be in our bingo book with a kill on sight order, Danzo states. Naruto raises his arms with a shrug. Doesn't bother me one bit. You are not the first and certainly not the last, he says and vanishes with a single step. Danzo grips his cane with a look of anger behind his calm visage. Hokage-sama, we cannot let him leave. He nearly killed Sasuke, Kakashi states. No, inform the Hunter Corp and spread the word to all Konoha ninja. Kill the ghost of spring on sight, Danzo orders. Get Sasuke to the hospital, Danzo adds, and several jonin pick him up. Naruto appears in his warehouse as Anko was waiting for him. What happened with Sasuke, Anko asks. I broke his arm, nose, and some teeth. Jaw. Danzo and Konoha want me dead, but nothing new, Naruto replies. Kukuku. That little bastard deserves that and more, Anko says. Naruto unseals his coat and slips it on. Alright, head back to spring. I'm heading back to get Sasuke's 6-pathine. Then head to Earth Country to intercept Jiraiya with my ace, he says, making a shadow clone. The clone grasps Anko's shoulder and vanishes in a white flash as Naruto heads up to the small office for a nap and wait. Konoha General. The sun quietly sets on Sasuke's room, his face heavily bandaged and his left arm in a cast. A lone tarantula starts to descend from her shadows and lands on Sasuke's chest, but a puff of smoke billows and a small girl with snow-white hair and green eyes was straddling him. Teehee. Boss wants your power. We should make it easy, she says and opens her mouth. Slowly a barb comes out and pricks Sasuke on the neck. Sasuke's monitor beeps a bit, but steadies as the girl hops off and she pulls a familiar kunai from her satchel. A white flash fills the room as Naruto appears, quickly flashing several signs. He creates a barrier as the girl giggles. Thanks, Archie, Naruto says. We got everything out, Archie comments. Naruto slowly removes his gloves and places them in pockets. Thanks, Lucas told me, he says, placing his sun-marked hand on Sasuke's chest. I better make this quick before his dog comes back. Archie covers his mouth, Naruto says. Archie covers Sasuke's mouth as Naruto call up his yang 6-path power, trying to resonate with its half, and slowly it works as he places his other hand on top. Sasuke's body trembles a bit as a yellow glow emerges from Sasuke's chest and crawls up Naruto's left arm. Naruto winces as his left eye erupts with pain as the last of the yin power leaves Sasuke. Looking down, he sees a moon symbol on his left hand. "Boss, your eye changed," Archie says, letting Sasuke go. Naruto slips his gloves back on and finds a mirror, but his eyes widen, seeing a Rinnegan eye staring back, but with 6 tomos. "It seems it's your gift from Indra's power." "Thank you, Sasuke," Naruto says and turns Archie. "Please keep an eye on things." "I'll be on my way," he says. Archie returns to her spider form and makes her way into the shadows. "Well, Sasuke, it's been fun." "Well, for me anyway," Naruto muses, dispelling his barrier and vanishing as Ino opens the door, preparing to molest Sasuke's body. Break! Jiraiya and a small contingent of Umbu were making their way through Earth Country in search of Naruto. After learning of Naruto's whereabouts from Ghost the Toad Sage, quickly took a group of Umbu to find him, despite the protests of Danzo. It has been about 1 week since the group left, but for Jiraiya, it was a chance to make up for his failure. Naruto could have come to Konoha and kill Tsunade. "Did you tell Inoki our secrets?" "You damn demon," Jiraiya thought. The group quickly made their way through a rocky plain, but suddenly earthen spikes erupt around them. "Form up," Jiraiya shouts, but the ground turns in a quicklime and encases their forms. Seems our informant was right, a voice sneers as a block of rock rises from the ground. Atop the pillar of rock was a young woman with short black hair and pink eyes, dressed in a standard IWA uniform. It consists of a red uniform with her right sleeve missing and a lapel over her right leg, the brown Iwagakure flak jacket, fishnet tights, and a skirt over them. She also wears regular shinobi sandals and a pair of gloves. "Jiraiya of the Sannin, my informant told me. You were encroaching on our country and with a squad of Umbu," she declares as several IWA Umbu surround them. Jiraiya was seething internally but maintained a straight face. "Kuratsuchi, granddaughter of Inoki," he starts, but his eyes widen as another stood next to Kuratsuchi. "Naruto?" "You demon," Jiraiya shouts. The blonde-haired former Konoha pariah stood with his arms folded. "Hey, 𝐸𝐴Z𝐸, he sneers, but a glare forms. "How did you know I was here?" Naruto asks. The Umbu struggle to free themselves, but Jiraiya shakes his head. "A shinobi named Ghost told us," he shouts. "Ghost?" "That team." Inoki calls him the Ghost of the Flash, like the Yondaime, Naruto states and drops down. "So you heard my name and came running with no plan and a such paltry backup," he adds. "You killed the Hokage," Sparrow shouts. Naruto tilts his head with a furrowed brow. "Bachan dead?" he says. "You did it, didn't you, Naruto? You killed Tsunade." "For what? To get back at me, huh?" Jiraiya shouts. "That a real shame and all, but you leaf huggers are trespassing," Kuratsuchi says and drops down as well. "You will not take us lightly," Jiraiya hisses, preparing himself to free himself. "Oh, but they won't have to," a voice states. Jiraiya whips around and his breath hitches as Ghost was right behind them. "You," he utters. The Naruto in front of him pops in a puff of smoke, as do all the IWA Umbu. "Don't you just love shadow clones, Ghost?" Or rather, the real Naruto says. A pair of dark sunglasses over his eyes. "Hey boy," Kuratsuchi says. "Hey girl," Naruto muses but glances to a Jiraiya. "Hey 𝐸𝐴Z𝐸, he says. Jiraiya's eyes widen and his body shudders as memories return. Veins flare in his face and his teeth. "Oh ho ho." The memories have returned. The trigger being 𝐸𝐴Z𝐸 spoken twice, Naruto states. "You damn demon. You should have been killed as child," Jiraiya shouts. Naruto chuckles as he approaches the toad Sannin. "I thought I was needed as an attack dog on the lease. Well, that Konoha for ya. I stopped Gaara. Brought Tsunade back to become Go Dame, but what Konoha do with that loyalty?" betrays it. Konoha always takes and takes and takes from good people, he says. You are not a person, Naruto. You are a weapon, a tool to used and tossed aside. Once your purpose is done with Jiraiya spits. So, I'm not even a person to you. My father must be rolling into Shinigami's stomach knowing he trusted you. A whiny man-child incapable of doing anything. A pervert who begs women to sleep with him or blackmails them. A petulant child who sold out a country for some pussy. How is Danzo going to give Tsunade to you? Use his hidden Sharingan to make her your train whore. Orochimaru experiment on her to make a barely functioning sex doll. Huh. Naruto shouts, ripping the glasses from his face and revealing his new Rinnegan. Jiraiya's eyes widen in horror. The Rinnegan. Impossible? How do you have same eyes? He says. Same eyes. You mean Nagato, or Pain as he calls himself. Actually, you can thank Sasuke for this Rinnegan. After I clapped him in Konoha, I took this power from him. He never knew he had it, but oh well, Naruto explains. So this was an elaborate plot? Jiraiya shouts. Naruto slips his glasses on his forehead. A little bit. You've been looking for me almost 3 years, and you had no luck. So I dangled some bait, and you snapped it up like a hungry dog. Quite pathetic, he sneers. However, the best part of the plot has yet to begin. Just picture it. Jiraiya, the legendary Sannin, assassinates Inoki, the Sandaime Tsuchikage, Naruto declares. Many in IWA still hate Konoha for the last war. So when Gramps dies, war will ring through all of IWA, Kuratsuchi says. Danzo will more than likely disavow you, but the die will be cast. Kumo may see it as an opportunity. Suna is your only ally, but I talk Gaara into dropping that, Naruto adds. You finally show your true nature. Daimon Borspitch. Naruto claps his hands slowly as he approaches Bor, derogatory names. Konoha's default term for me, he says and places his hand on Bor's head. Bor seizes as Naruto pulls back and glowing blue visage of human leaves Bor. Now I know the layout of Umbu, HQ, and patrol routes, Naruto says. What did you do? Jiraiya shouts. Naruto taps near his left eye, one of the abilities of the Rinnegan. Ninjendo Path. It allows me to read the thoughts of others and rip out their souls as well, he explains. Naruto raises his left hand. I have about 1,000 clones testing since I acquired the Rinnegan. I am learning quite few things, he says, before Sparrow is ripped from the limestone. He grasps Sparrow by the neck, but Jiraiya gasps in shock as a black rod erupts out the back of her neck. A clone appears next to Naruto as he rolls his neck. Well, I would play some more, but something pressing has come up, Naruto muses, dropping Sparrow's corpse. Kuratsuchi take Jiraiya to the warehouse and start setting things up. This clone will help you get rid of the Umbu, Naruto says, tipping his glasses down. You won't get away with this, Naruto, Jiraiya shouts. Naruto turns to him with a slight lean back, because Konoha knows all my weaknesses, right? Oh no, Jiraiya, it is quite the opposite. I know Konoha's weaknesses, he says and vanishes in a white flash, leaving a seething Jiraiya and a smirking Kuratsuchi. And music. Naruto Shippuden OST 2 Hyohaku plus Kokun. Itachi coughs violently on one knee with an unconscious Konan next to him, his Akatsuki cloak gone and his clothes torn. Opposite Itachi were the paths of Pain, Haiden, Kakuzu, and Kisame. You would choose to defy God, David Pain says, looking down on them. I've pegged you as a traitor, Itachi, and Kisame chuckles, resting Samahata on his shoulder. I can sacrifice him to Jashin now, Haiden says with manic grin. Itachi's eyes flicker, but his body shimmers suddenly, causing all of them to narrow their eyes. Instead of Itachi, it was young woman in his place. You're a fucking bitch? Hayden shouts. It seems your chakra receiver has finally disrupted my hinge, Itachi says, coughing blood into her hand. No matter. God will pass judgment, 𝐫𝐸 says, raising his hand. Itachi reaches in her pouch and grabs a familiar kunai and tosses it into the ground. I think your aim is off, Itachi-san. Oh, Itachi-chan, Kisame says, laughing. However, suddenly a white flash erupts in front of Itachi, and a bit of relief fills her as Naruto stood in front of her. Cutting a bit close to Itachi, Naruto states, not taking his eyes off of 𝐫𝐸 and the other Akatsuki. Sorry, Naruto-kun. Things changed. Pain betrayed Konan before I could arrive. I tried to get her out, but I was found out, Itachi explains. Who the fuck are you? Hayden shouts. Naruto pulls down his hood with a roll of his neck. So this the famed god of aim and the dreaded Akatsuki, but all I see is a weak man and a bunch of weaklings, he says, ignoring Hayden. So you have finally shown yourself, 𝐸 Jinchuriki, 𝐫𝐸 declares. Correction. 𝐸 Jinchuriki, but Naidame 𝐸 no Yoko, Naruto says and spreads his arms apart, revealing his tails and ears, but one tail and now a sandy brown. You gotten bigger, Gaki. Samahata is so ready to eat your chakra, Kisame shouts. A clone comes to life behind Naruto as his ears and tails vanish. He'll take you to the warehouse. We're gonna need the eye, he says. They played into your hands, Itachi asks, and Naruto nods, reaching for his sunglasses. The clone grasps Itachi's shoulder, and she grabs Konan as they vanish in a white flash. Now then, Akatsuki, shall we dance? Naruto declares. 5 of the paths leap forward with Hayden in tow, but Naruto tosses his glasses before blinking in front of Hayden. You will be the first, Naruto says, slamming Hayden into a wall and ripping out his soul. Kisame and Kazu were momentarily in shock as Naruto tosses the now lifeless Hayden aside. Look at his left eye. It's exactly like Pain's, but different, Kakuzu states. 𝐫𝐸 frowns, but 𝐤𝐫𝐸 wrenches off its arm and fires several missiles. Shinra Tensei, Naruto thought, deflecting the missiles. He launches forward, grabbing Hayden's scythe, and slices 𝐤𝐸𝐸 in half at the waist. Suidan, Suikoden no Jutsu, Kisame shouts, joining the fray. Naruto tosses the scythe aside and absorbs Kisame's shark jutsu. Turnabout is fair play. Suidan, Suryudan no Jutsu, he shouts, sending a water dragon back at Kisame. 𝐵𝐸 gets in Kisame's path and starts to absorb the jutsu, while 𝐵𝐸 charges Naruto from behind as 𝐫𝐸 summons several centipedes. Naruto quickly somersaults over 𝐵𝐸 into a springboard kick to propel him up. 𝐫𝐸 Naruto thought, forming the large orb and crashing it down into the centipedes. He quickly swipes his left arm out to send a chain and grab 𝐫𝐸, yanking it toward him as his right starts crackling with lightning. Chidori, Naruto thought, obliterating 𝐫𝐸's head. Naruto jerks as 𝐫𝐸 sends a concussive blast of Shinra Tensei, but corrects and lands with a skid on the water. Kakuzu lands in front of Naruto with his threads bursting from his body and charging a blast. Naruto slams his palms and summons a giant panda to block the blast, creating another Rasengan, but this one grows and screeches with wind. Futon, Rasen Shuriken, Naruto thought, tossing the whipping Rasengan. Kakuzu tries to dodge, but it enlarges and engulfs his body, ripping all of his hearts with micro wind blades. The herd is thinning, Naruto says, staring at 𝐫𝐸, 𝐵𝐸, 𝐫𝐸, 𝐵𝐸, and Kisame. How do you possess God's eyes? 𝐫𝐸 declares. Sorry, but this devil won't speak, Naruto says, blinking in front of 𝐵𝐸 and drives another Chidori through his chest. His left hand mechanizes and a charge of Churka blast through 𝐫𝐸. Vansho Tenin, 𝐫𝐸 shouts, using both as sacrifices. Naruto yanks forward into Deva Pain's path as a chakra rod erupts from the lead Pain's left arm. However, Naruto grins and his Rinnegan glows, and instead of driving his chakra rod through Naruto, it was Kisame to take blow instead, and the shark man spews blood. Naruto opens his mouth wide as a Baijidama forms. Consider this your fall, he thought, obliterating both Deva Pain and Kisame, along with part of Pain's tower and part of AIM. Naruto sighs with a look around as his senses were stretching across AIM. There you are, he thought, blinking away. Song ends. I hope you guys liked the story. If you did, click on any of the videos which are popping on the screen right now. I promise you'll love them too. If you like my videos, you can like and subscribe too. I'll see you on another amazing What If video, guys. Love you all. Peace.